if I say that, I think we would all have a same opinion of pitching had the advantage in the early parts of the playoffs, which means advantage Phillies, because the Phillies still have the best rotation despite not having Zach Wheeler. The Phillies have the best rotation, right? Like, Tarek Skubal is obviously the best pitcher, I think, going into the postseason, but then who else follows him?
Will Bryce Harper remind the world who he is? And I asked that question.
By the way, great question. That is that.
Well, the Philadelphia Phillies season is pretty much over. They're basically dead. They're not going to win 3 straight games in this series. And I said after game 1, the reason they lost game 1 was the manager's fault. And you know what? You could probably blame him for game 2 as well. But the reason they're going to lose this series is because the top 3 guys in the lineup, Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, have gone a combined 2 for 21. That's unacceptable. That's not going to get the job done. It's on them as much as anybody else why the Phillies are going to get knocked out.
The fans last night were incredibly supportive.
Yep.
Yes, they booed the lousy at-bats by Trey Turner when he had them. The lousy at-bats. Even Kyle Schwarber took a little heat last night. You took heat on one of your at-bats where you were flailing at it like you couldn't swing a boat paddle. But they were supportive. They were loud. They were backing you when you were down 4-1. They were standing. They were making noise. So that is totally garbage to start pointing fingers at the fans and making it as if the fans are causing part of the problem here. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, because Donnie, the trend continues, right? You lose the World Series, you lose the NLCS, you lose the Division Series. So some might think, well, they just won't make the playoffs. They made the playoffs.
No, they want to take a step back.
But
though.
instead of losing in 4, they might lose in 3, Johnny.
Good morning to you, too.
Oh, no, it's not a good morning.
No, it is.
Morning.
It is. I don't do the after. I can't do the walk around and mope and growl at people and stuff like that.
I'm not growling at anybody, but it's not a good morning.
You don't.
That's right. The voice you trust. Where is he? Oh, that's me. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic. Good morning. Hello, what up? Watching on YouTube, you can see I'm wearing my camouflage today.
I can't see you, actually.
You can't see me. Amy Fadul is
You got camouflage.
the first co-host of Middays with Marks on 97.5 The Fanatic. We invited Amy Fadul to join us this morning.
Thank
Hello,
you so
Amy.
much. Good to see you.
So I have a Steve Jeltz powdered blue jersey that I wore when the Phillies were no-hit in the World Series. So I not necessarily want to bring that out. But could things get any worse right now? Like, what does it matter?
Yeah, exactly.
But
Maybe like enough bad juju reverses it.
So when I saw that the Phillies, they said, you know what? We got to switch something up. We're going with the powdered blues in Dodger Stadium. I said, well, I got to wear the Steve Jeltz jersey. That's it. It's the powdered blue. And I couldn't find it this morning.
Of course.
So I went to the camouflage. You know why, Amy? Because I'm ready for a war tonight.
I like it. Okay.
I am not waving the white flag. I am not going to be the person that comes on the air today and says, well, Phillies aren't winning 3 straight games. The hell with that. All you need tonight is to get a win
and think about it. If you're able to get a win, and they put Aaron Nola on the mound, so it's the exact opposite move that anybody else would make, the whole world's going to think the Phillies are going to lose tonight. And you know what? Sometimes with the players, they feel that, they recognize that, and it gives them some type of a unique bond where they say, no, we're not losing tonight. Is it going to work? Listen, I have no idea.
Well, it can't hurt.
It can't hurt based on what we've seen.
It can't hurt. It can't. And that's the thing. It's like, when I remember talking to people on the outside of Philadelphia when the Eagles leaned into the whole dog mask thing and the underdogs. And they're like, why do grown men, professional athletes need some kind of edge? I'm like, they need anything.
Yep.
Who cares what they need? If that's what they need to claim the underdog role, in that case they were. But like if it gives you a little bit of an edge, whatever it takes to get your mind around it, if it's like looking around, like you said, and being like, oh, no one thinks that Aaron Nola's going to do anything. Well, damn, maybe he will. And then we need to do our job. I think that kind of groundswell can result in something positive.
Yeah, for sure. I remember one time Tom Brady, he was the king of, like, what can I do? Like, how do we won so many Super Bowls. There was a week where all of the Boston Globe writers picked against them in a playoff game.
Yeah.
And it became the thing of the week. It became the thing of the week where everybody on and they were underdogs. Everybody on that team was like, no one's giving us a chance. No one's giving the Phillies a chance to win the series. And if Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper and Trey Turner and a lot of guys making a lot of money can't show up for game 4, game 3, and win tonight, because if they win tonight, now it puts pressure on the Dodgers. Are they starting Ohtani in game 4, or are they going with Glass now? Are they going to save Ohtani for game 5, or are they thinking we win game 4 anyway, and then we have Ohtani for the start of the NLCS? You win tonight, you put pressure on the Dodgers. If you don't win game 4, now you got to come back here.
Right.
And you got them thinking, because right now the Dodgers aren't worried about anything.
No, they're thinking we've got 2 at home. All
Bam.
right, we're in good shape. And to your point, though, if they've already started thinking about, which I know they have to, and I'm sure Dave Roberts is, Ohtani, game 4. Okay, but Ohtani only goes, 5 innings? He's not an entire starter in their true sense of the word. We all have seen what that bullpen, he couldn't find their strike zone, which was great. So then you starts to creep in of like, well, maybe if we're going to burn Ohtani, we can't burn him because then we need him later. So then they do push him to the Saturday game. All right, well, then now you're going Glass now. Now the Phillies, at that point, the Phillies are already in your heads. And I think that's where the Phillies need to operate. They need to operate as if, yes, they're down 0-2, but they still have an edge when it comes to certain things because they do have that mystique. They do have the potential. And that's really what we're all talking about, is the potential for this offense to take off.
No, you're right. They need to go.
That's what the Dodgers have to plan for.
They need to go into the game tonight not limping in or looking tight like they've looked.
Yeah, very tight.
First 2 games last year, and then the finality of the NLCS against the Diamondbacks. That's where it started. So this isn't new. This is something that's been there. And Amy, I heard it afternoons. We talked about it here on the show. Ray and I both talked about it. We were worried about a combination of things. And so were the fans. The bats going cold, the middle relief failing, and Rob Thompson making poor decisions.
Hey, get your
trifecta
right across the board.
Right. So you need to come out tonight, and you need to get on them early, and you need to be able to hold them off. I don't know how you felt about the bunting thing, and the bunt has been the big topic of discussion. Yeah. And that's fine, and we talked about it a lot yesterday. The bottom line is Kyle Schwarber and Trey Turner and Bryce Harper have 1 hit in a game. They're not going to win that game. And the stars need to show up. This team is going as far as those 3 players. And then the complementary players all step up when they need to. But this is now going on since the Diamondback series where these guys can't hit. So it's got to start with them. Aaron Nola, I believe this. I believe Aaron Nola is going to give you enough tonight to keep you in the game, to get to Ranger Suarez, to get into there. The offense needs to do their job tonight.
Yeah, that's the simple thing. And yeah, it was the bunt heard round Philadelphia. And we I was there and we saw it happen. I thought, oh, God. There was a lot of things that went wrong with it. One, it was a bunt up to third base where your guy is trying to go, which is a terrible, terrible bunt in that scenario. If you're trying to get to first, it's a great bunt. You're not worried about first. So the part of me is just like, why are you bunting? And second part is, if I'm going from second to third, and I know that's my job if someone's bunting, and I see the ball at third base, I might just maybe I don't go. But the idea, obviously, of bunting is to move the runner over. So there's a lot of problems with that. But to the end of the day, it's all about hitting and hitting in certain situations. And they just didn't do that. The only time that anybody got hits in productive situations was in the 9th inning.
Yeah.
And it was too late. And it was guys that you were mentioning, the bottom of the lineup. Those guys have been the ones that have stepped up. And we saw that even at the end of the year. I mean, you're going back now. Kyle Schwarber was 0 for 21. He was 0 for 14 to end the season. And I know there's a reason for it to the end of the season because he was trying to get the home runs. I get it. Every swing is a monster swing for him. But we've seen he's been able to put the ball in play. He can get a single just like anybody else. At some point, you just got to move. It's not even small ball. It's just simple baseball. Get the guy on, get him over.
So you're feeling overall good?
I still
about
feel
tonight?
good. I still feel good because I do think there is that groundswell. You know, I think it's something that to be said. The guys like the powder blues, you know, look good, feel good, play good, whatever, all that nonsense. If it's something that's going to help them, just like the dog mask or whatever it is you need, wear whatever it is that makes you think that you are going to have a little bit of edge.
Yeah.
The blue jerseys, which I love. I think it's the best retro jersey in all of sports.
It's awesome. And it's a great call with the dog mask because that was legit. That became something.
Their thing.
It became their thing after the game. They had the dog mask on.
They all had them on.
I had a dog mask.
I as soon as I saw Lane Johnson with one, I went on Amazon and bought the same one that day.
I guess I waited too many hours because I had to get the poodle mask because that was the only one that was left.
Not as scary, oddly enough, but still an underdog nonetheless.
It's more creepy than a scary dog because it's a mask and a grown man wearing a poodle mask.
A poodle. What color is it?
White.
Of course it is. Yes,
I should. You know what? I should. If they win tonight, I'm wearing it during the show.
Perfect.
I was down in the basement in storage, and I was like kind of trying to like clean some stuff
You're
up.
like, why is this here?
It's bin after bin, and I go, "What's in this bin?" I'm like, "Oh my god, it's the poodle mask."
I have the German Shepherd one. I literally ordered as soon as I saw it. I was like, this is going to be a thing.
Oh, the German Shepherd one was the one you wanted.
Yeah,
that was
when I say like we were watching him walk off the field in it, I went on Amazon instantly and I got it and it was delivered the next day, and I think they sold out.
You imagine being you have all these dog masks, and you're like, we're never going to sell these things, and they're gone in 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Like, why are they all going to the Delaware Valley? It's a lot of Pennsylvania and New Jersey here.
Ray Dunn, did you have a poodle mask like me?
I did not. No.
No mask?
No mask.
Okay.
No.
Gimp mask possibly for you?
No.
No. Okay.
That sounds like a different party.
Sorry. Well, my producer at the time, we thought maybe had that.
Different.
Okay, yeah. Well, no. Different producer on this one.
How are you feeling today, Ray Dunn? Because so just going in, if you don't know Ray or don't know Amy, Ray. We gave him a picture of a dog going into the series because he was scared. Not a dog mask, but a dog.
All right.
He felt exactly what happened so far, and you know what? I didn't. I'm really surprised that this is the way the offense has showed up.
Yeah, I kind of thought like, all right, well, Ohtani's going to come out and be Ohtani. He'll hit a home run, and they'll take one of two. And I thought for sure they'll show up. For sure, game 2. I mean, I was so locked in. There's no way they wouldn't, but I would be wrong in a way that I saw with my own eyeballs right there, up close and personal.
Now, Ray claims that I've talked myself into the Phillies winning Game 3, which may be true, but nevertheless, I am fully committed and pot committed to the Phillies winning tonight. Your thoughts?
You ever feel like nothing good was ever going to happen to you?
I'm not in a good spot still. I have not recovered. Yesterday was therapeutic, but 4 hours of therapy yesterday didn't do anything in terms of making me feel better. Maybe they extend it. Maybe they give us. I thought we were getting the charity win in Game 2. So maybe the charity wins tonight. But not great. Not great.
But see, like, you get the gentleman's sweep, they call it. All right, like when in a 7-game series, you win the one game, and then the series is over. In a 5-game series, there's no such thing as you get that one game that you win.
Right.
Because there's 5 games. Like, some people will say that the Phillies were at a disadvantage this being a 5-game series, but now being down 2-0, I think there's an advantage.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to have if you're down 2-0 and have a 7-game series, I would not want that. I understand on paper you have more opportunity to make up the ground, but the Dodgers have more opportunity to take care of you. At 7-game series, there's so much that can happen. I think sometimes, to your point, like being a little bit more concentrated, you have the impetus to be like, all right, well, it's like, put up or shut up time. Like, it should have been that anyway, but it really is. And a 7-game series, not that you have any kind of like wiggle room or lax behavior, but you could kind of feel like, oh, well, we have like 5 more games. We have all this opportunity. We have all this time. No, you have 1 game. This is it.
And it's it.
That's it.
All right, coming back. Our buddy Jason Worth doesn't quite believe that we're giving the Phillies a chance. Your phone calls, how are you feeling today? 610-632-0975. The text line, 610-632-0975. Are you talking yourself into it, or are you the Phillies are not winning this series? We'll start with your phone calls, and we'll hear from Jason Worth coming up right after this.
Unfiltered with Ricky Bo, Bill Colarulo, and so.
I'm pointing the finger at Nick Sirianni because this right now, and this is much different than I felt 2 weeks ago or even after the A.J. Brown stuff. And with A.J. Brown, after he put the tweet out last week, I said, well, this doesn't have to be a big deal, but they got to fix things. It now feels like things are worse. This is Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni is not an offensive genius. Nick Sirianni was brought in for his leadership skills and to be the CEO head coach, or at least that's what he's developed into. And he's done a hell of a job. The offense looks pathetic. And there's obviously internal things that are going on because there's struggles offensively. And this is where Nick Sirianni needs to be Nick Sirianni and step in. If Turner, Schwarber, and Harper look like this, they may get swept, Todd.
Yes. I think Matt Gelb put out a tweet today, like Phillies are like 1-6 in the last 7 postseason games, and he put all the runs scored over the last 7 postseason games. And I think most of the games are 1s and 2s. There was like 1-3 in there, and then 1 7-run game. They won the 7-run game. And so, yeah, you have the big boys at the top, and I've been saying this since the beginning of the season. Did they do enough? There's a lot of like hand wringing earlier in the season about Stott and Marsh and Alec Boehm and should Justin Crawford come up and Aiden Miller and all this stuff, right? And in the end, it was like, well, the big guys have to produce, and for most of the season they did. I mean, Turner, is going to get some MVP votes. Schwarber could finish second for MVP. Harper, by his standards, did not have a Bryce Harper type season, but he's still a very feared hitter, of course. And so 1 for 11, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. It's got to be much better. That they need to start scoring some runs because you can't have the bullpen every single game.
Nope.
Just like have to pitch to perfection to try to win a game.
Well, what is up, Zozone? Where do we start? All right, I would say the big story, at least according to the fans, is Rob Thompson's decision with David Robertson in the bullpen. What are your opinions on what he did?
Yeah, so I've written about this. I've talked about it a lot, and I always feel like there's a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking. I've learned a couple things in baseball is that anytime a manager, and my first manager I ever covered was Larry Boa, then it was Charlie Manuel, then it went Ryan Sandberg, Pete McKenna, Gabe Kapler, Joe Girardi, Rob Thompson. Every single one, when they've made a pitching change and it didn't work, it was because the manager was an idiot.
Yep. For 5 days, it's the worst part of MLB postseason. You sit there for 5 days, you lose all your momentum. The Dodgers come in with all their momentum, from playing in the wild card. Now the wild card is 3 games. The Phillies are up against it hard. I don't know how. Honestly, I don't know how they recover.
Jason Worth, thanks for the positive vibes there, Jay Worth. He was on the Barstool show on FS1. That's what that's from. And we had Jason on last week. Here's what I hate. Maybe there's some truth to it. I'm not buying it for this team. But being on ice, as he said, for a week and they're not playing. But they did this last year, and they did this against Arizona when they weren't on ice and they were actually in the middle of the NLCS and they couldn't stop hitting the ball. But then adjustments were made in how they were pitched, and literally you haven't seen a playoff game since where you felt good about the offense at all. So, listen, Amy, we'll see. Amy Fadul with us here on Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic. I mean, honestly, I feel as good as I possibly could feel about a game
down
tonight.
0-2.
Yeah, I'm not. Hold on a second. Look behind you here. Michael Barkan has went. We actually texted Michael to see if he would come on later on in the show. He is a viral sensation. I did a radio hit in San Diego before the show, and they asked me about Michael Barkan and the post-game crew.
That's my favorite thing. I've had so many people call me. I've had people call me 2 different times the last 3 months. One about Sean Kane and Spencer McKercher being on after Karen baseball lady. People are like, Sean's all over everything. And then my phone has blown up again. Do Michael and Ruben and Ben and Ricky actually hate each other? That's hilarious. And so I wanted to post videos or pictures of everybody, all the guys together. I'm like, no, but people are fired up. It was my favorite thing.
So can you this is a really short segment. Can you hang on for 5 minutes? All right, Michael Barkan, a viral sensation. It was, but
he's wearing his powder blue too.
I see that.
We're
awesome.
just trying to get good vibes.
All right, he's going to join us coming up here.
It's great.
It's
I
funny
just
because
texted him and he shows up.
Amy came in and I'm like, "Can you text Barkan to see if he'll come on?"
I was like, "Yeah, I'll just text him."
Yeah, sure, we'll text him. And then he just walked in. I guess he was doing Preston and Steve this morning. I'm guessing.
I'm guessing so. I don't think he just saw my text and came running. It's not the bat signal.
So my initial thought. My initial thought was,
Amy's calling. I gotta go.
My initial thought was, what the hell is this? When he came in, and then I saw Chuck D'Amico, the program director of MMR. All right, Chuck just walked them down.
Yeah.
All right, so your reaction and your opinion on Aaron Nola getting the start.
Yeah, so it was funny because I went to the game on Monday and I'm listening on the way home and I'm riding with somebody, so I don't want to be rude and sit on my phone. And so people are talking, whatever, and we have the radio on. We had 97.5 on, of course. And so we're trying to listen to that, but also, I wanted to find out what Topper was saying about some of the decisions, because when you're going to the game, I didn't know what was the decision. I understand lefty righty stuff, Otto Kemp over Max Kepler. I wanted to understand we saw Ranger coming out to sit in the bullpen in the second, what the thought was on that. So I'm trying to find out information, and I couldn't find anything out because, again, I didn't want to be rude and be sitting in the front seat on my phone. So then when I get home and I see the Nola bit, and I was like, oh, what is the reasoning about this? So I do the search, and I hear what Rob Thompson says. I can only think that, I was like, I guess he thinks people are going to zig and he wants to zag. I don't know. I understand the reasoning behind he's not comfortable coming out the pen. I think, honestly, it's something we thought about and we talked about it, 2 weeks ago. And I know you guys would discuss it. I think he feels a certain way about Aaron Nola, and there is a respect there. I think Nola has had a couple of good starts. I know 2 of the last 3, were pretty good. I could only think it's all right, we're going to trot him out there because he is used to this environment. He can go into hostile environments and pitch well. And if he gets through the 3rd inning unscathed,
one time through the order,
we'll go with Ranger.
Right.
That's got to be what it is. I think the face is listen, he's never come out of the pen. I think that is true. But I think behind it is the belief he has. We're going to give him one once through.
I agree. I mean, I agree that you don't bring him in second. He's got to start. He doesn't have the stuff to come in the 4th inning. You want him to start. Then if we believe Ranger Suarez isn't injured, and I know Bill Colarulo came on a couple days ago with me and said something about Aaron Nola starting Game 3, and I was like, I don't think Aaron Nola is going to start Game 3 unless Suarez is injured. It doesn't appear that he's injured. It appears here's my issue with it. You knew what you were going to do. This has been the plan since before the series, correct?
Yeah, you make these plans out. This is not like unless there's something that has happened. This is the plan. That's why Rob Thompson had it at the ready. It's not like it just came to him on Monday night.
So they had this plan. Why wouldn't you have looked at Ranger Suarez in Game 1 as a high leverage in the biggest spot in the game up until the 7th or the 8th
instead of
inning?
Matt Strong?
Yeah, why isn't he in there? I get he brought back Robertson because I think what they looked at, they said, you know what, if Sanchez doesn't give us innings, then we'll go to Ranger Suarez. But once that didn't happen, then I think they just kind of forgot about him. I'm going into the game. If I know he's not starting Game 4 and he's piggybacking off Game 3 and he's piggybacking off of Aaron Nola, I'm going into the game saying he's my secret weapon that I'm using in the biggest spot of the game before the 9th inning. And they just forgot about him. It doesn't make sense. They've mismanaged Ranger Suarez to where he's not even starting in the first 3 games.
You do have to wonder if there's not something else there. But I like that. I think that's it, though. They think that he is like the magic little, all right, here's your draw 4 card, wild card in Uno, because it's like this guy is really good. We know he's good in the pen. We've seen it. And in the postseason, nothing bothers this guy, which is exactly what you want in a postseason pitcher. Well, the problem is they haven't, to your point, they haven't used him. So he was out there. I'm standing right in front of the bullpen. I see him walk out there. I'm section 201, and I'm like, oh, great, Ranger's going to be out here. Luzardo's pitching a gem. This is perfect. 7th inning. Here comes Ranger. That's a Ryan Kirkering. That's not Ranger Suarez. Okay, and Kirkering, not great.
He
but
had inherited runners. They weren't his.
They inherited the Mookie plate. Like that was that's a tough play. The throw probably could have been better. Could have been to the correct side, so there could have been a tag that would have been clean. But whatever. Now I'm I'm relitigating everything on this one. I'm going to sit here and go out by out, people. But to me, I thought, all right, so you didn't use him. Kirkering stumbled a little bit, but overall, okay-ish. Rangers still out there. Still hanging out in the pen. I took a picture of him, and I sent it to Sean, who produces, my husband Sean Kane produces the Phillies pre- and post-game show. I'm like, is Ranger just out here for a better view, or they're actually going to use him? He was busy, Sean was at the time, oddly enough, so he didn't get back to me. But I thought, why not here? Matt Strom comes in, and that we all know.
Well, you're worried about your middle relief, and you have a guy that
could solve that.
Runners on base. I'm not worried about Ranger Suarez starting an inning. You're not worried about it. If there's anybody in the pen that I want to go to in a high-stress, high-pressure situation, it's Ranger.
Doesn't care. He literally looks like he doesn't care half the time.
He's done it in the playoffs. I mean, this is a guy that has a pedigree. What are we doing?
Yeah, that was confusing to me. I thought certainly when you saw what happened, Mookie played at the plate, I thought, okay, well, now you realize you can't afford any more runs across. You can't afford any more runs. Bring out the guy that's going to prevent any of those runs. At that point, screw it. Bring out Durant. Do anything except for what you did. But Ranger still sat there on his little stool.
All right, coming up, Michael Barkan's going to join us live in studio. Phillies, Dodgers, and what those 4 idiots were yelling about after the game the other night, which was highly entertaining. He is a star. Michael Barkan is not only a star here, but he's a star everywhere.
He has been.
I know he is. He certainly is. Michael Barkan, what does he think about tonight? What's it like working with Ricky Bo on some of these post-game shows? It's a rhetorical question. That's coming up right after this.
He's the best.
Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Will they get swept? I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies trail 2-0 in the NLDS, are out in LA for Game 3 tonight in this divisional series format. Teams that go down 0-2 have only won 10 of 90 series. So the numbers against this Phillies team as the Phillies prepare for Game 3. And tonight, the starter, Aaron Nola. Here's Rob Thompson explaining that decision.
It'll be Aaron Nola with Ranger behind him.
What's the reasoning behind that?
Nola's never pitched out of the pen, so how long he goes, I don't know, and I trust him.
We'll see what they get out of Nola and Suarez tonight against the Dodgers. Again, 9:08 start time out at Dodger Stadium as the Phillies fight for their season. 1 day away from the Eagles and Giants matching up at the Meadowlands on Thursday Night Football. Saquon Barkley said yes, he's sore, but expects to play. We'll be joined by Jordan Verdon of ESPN coming up at 12:55 to break down the matchup between the Eagles and the Giants. This update is brought to you by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate. I'm Ray Dunn in your home for the best birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Because the guy doesn't have a feel. And then yesterday, the things with the Eagles, they try to tell you that the whole problems with Kevin Patullo and everything, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Things aren't like 2023. It doesn't matter. Everything's okay. And you even got members of the media trying to convince you this Patullo thing doesn't matter. It's not a big deal until it matters. And it does matter. And yesterday's defense, the defense lost a game yesterday for them because the offense, again, couldn't do their job.
I actually called this series to go 5 games. I still think this series goes 5 games. I just think both these teams are too talented. And I got to believe, guys, that Turner, Schwarber, Harper at some point are going to turn this thing around. You know me, I bet on players. I've played against these guys. I've watched these guys. And they're too good not to get this thing going. And that's going to be their gig tonight. You want to talk about making a statement. Have Luzardo get a clean first inning and come out and put 2-3 runs up with that top of the lineup. You know, that's something to me to get this excitement, because I'll say this, the crowd was incredible the other night. They were into it again, no different than when I was here for 6 and 7 against the Diamondbacks. And it's kind of one of those things now the players kind of have to, hold their end of the bargain out.
The offense could not do its job again in the second half. Given a big lead. The offense just doesn't understand. They have no basic understanding. And thankfully, offensive players are speaking their minds. And I'm not talking to Diana Rossini.
Right.
By sending cryptic text messages and whisper down the lane. I got to tell you, I'm disappointed in veterans that are on these teams. For different ways. For the Phillies, it's performance. For the Eagles, it's behavior. And right now, it's just it's a bad Monday morning, and there was a full moon when I pulled in the parking lot. Did you open your wallet?
No, I did not.
I tried to tell you.
I did not. I believe we have problems. Now, look, problems.
Those are a ton of problems.
Problems can be fixed.
Yeah,
right? There is such a thing as problem solving. So when I start the show with, we have problems.
Yep.
That's not me saying that the Eagles are going to finish 4-13, and I don't think the Phillies are dead. Do I like their chances? No. If you listen to the show on Friday and you followed us on social media Saturday throughout the day, I thought they needed Game 1 a lot more than the Dodgers needed Game 1, so you may now feel or know how I feel about how the series is going to play out. But problems can be fixed. But let's address the problems. The Phillies, once again, in another playoff, got tight. And I know it's just Game 1.
Tight.
But the Phillies, as you see, and we've seen before, and I know this is one of those, you can't really judge this. There's no statistic for it. Maybe there is. The clutch gene, I know there's stats out there for everything. But the Phillies are front runners, all right? When they're in the lead and things are going great, they can pile on, even though they didn't pile on. But look, they're facing a good pitcher in Shohei Ohtani. They did their job against Ohtani. But then as soon as the Dodgers come back, they got tight, which is why going back to that Mets series when they got swept and you were on vacation, Johnny, it wasn't that I thought the Mets were like now all of a sudden going to go on a roll for the World Series. Connor, if you remember, I straight up said the Phillies team, they struggle when the lights are brightest, and that was a big light series. Now they came back and swept the Mets later on, and all was beautiful. But we know this team. We saw it in 22, 23, last year, and then Saturday night. When things get tough, they get tight. And you see the lineup get too tight. You see the pitching staff get too tight. It happens over and over again with this team. That's one of the problems that I want to address.
We got even one of our own crew members. And I just got to address it because we got one of our own crew members, our man Dylan McKinnon, who's very positive.
Love Dylan.
Dylan's a great guy, and he's very, very positive. But again, even
Thompson did was not pinch run. He bunted with Stott when he could have
pinch run.
Who's he going to pinch run? He could have pinch run.
He could not have pinch run the guy.
How could he not have pinch run?
He could not have pinch run the guy because he had to hold on Bader. Bader could not run the bases.
I would have let
only hit.
Ruben, I would have let Bader walk.
You would have to
let him walk the second. The run scores.
The man, he would have been done if he would have had to run. He probably would have.
I wouldn't have had him run, but that's how you got to be thinking.
Well, they were after the game. That's what happens when Rob Thompson makes decisions like he makes and the Phillies lose the first 2 games at home against the Dodgers. We're back at his Middays with Marks. Amy Fadul with me the entire show. And that was Michael Barkan and Ruben Amaro Jr. Michael Barkan live in studio. He heard us. Yeah, we said, Michael, can you come on today? And you came right in the studio.
I drove
Thank you.
right in.
He's like, I got you.
When I hear John Marks and Amy Fadula doing a show together, are you kidding me? I'm going to be here tomorrow, too.
Perfect.
Come on down.
Yeah, you
Come
got
everywhere.
it.
We got
You
the helicopter landing pads on one of these buildings here in Dallas that just.
I already do
Jump
the
right up.
traffic,
Yeah,
coming
that's
out
right.
of the scoop. Yeah, people have been asking me, like, you guys
I know, it's my.
dislike each other? No.
Are they really
They
mad?
do. They hate each other. Don't lie. You
That's
guys
why,
hate-
like, when we're listening to it, like, I just start laughing because, one, Ruben rarely gets that fired up. Ruben Amaro,
He's never.
he really.
To me,
No, I mean,
on the air.
right? I've never heard him
Never.
at any point. Like, Ricky, we all know Ricky. Angry Ricky is a thing. It's been a thing. It's been a thing for decades. At this
Bullpen
point.
implosion. Put on
Right.
post game to hear Ricky go nuts.
Right. I
Yeah,
mean, and
correct.
he's a closer. He's fiery. Ben, Big Irish can get up there a little bit occasionally.
Little
But
bit.
Ruben,
And my
Ruben had a real. He had some
Yeah.
things to say.
He had some things to say. My only point was, and I think I must have explained it poorly, was don't worry about Bader at that time.
Yeah.
The bottom line is Castellanos is on second base. Then you got a pinch run for him. He's your lead runner. You want to tie the game. They might still be playing right now if he scores, for goodness sakes. And I just thought Stott, instead of giving up an out, which are so precious right there, normally in the regular season, I would have way less trouble giving up an out. But you need to keep that game alive. You need to try to get him on. And if he singles, first of all, the runner scores from second base, unless it's Castellanos, might
Right.
have a difficult time. So I would have pinch run for Castellanos with Wilson. And people say, oh, yeah, like he's going to put a pitcher in for Bader. By any means necessary at that point in the game, I think. But if Wilson's on and Stott hits away, or even if Stott doesn't hit away and he bunts, I don't think the guy's getting tagged. Wilson's getting tagged out at third.
I mean,
Go ahead, John. Tell me.
well, no. The reality is that they were on the ropes, and you finally had some momentum, and the park was going nuts, and you're just giving them an out. In that scenario, runner on second base, Bryson Stott always has a great approach at the plate. So I'm not worried about him going up there and flailing at balls. He's gonna see pitches. He's going to take a walk if that's what they're doing. But you're putting pressure on the pitcher to A, throw him a strike that he wants to see, or B, pitch around them because there's a base open. Yeah. Either way, because even if Castellanos goes to third base, you got to get him in. You do post games all year long. How many games have we watched where you don't get the runner in from third base? It's not easy. You're not snapping your fingers and he scores because you bunted him over the third base. You have 3 chances to get a single that gets him home.
Yeah.
And you know what happens? I'm looking to win the game right there. I'm not looking to tie the game. I want to win the game right there. You're playing for a tie, which to me is a loser mentality.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with them trying to tie it up, obviously. I wanted to play for a win, but you got to tie the game before you can win the game, unless you hit a home run, which is probably unlikely. But I had no issue with that. Just get him in first. And once you get him in, then you got to worry about now. And that's why I got a call from a friend of mine the other, actually a text during post-game saying, why didn't they pitch Duran in game 1? And I threw that at Ricky, and Ricky was like, no, that's ridiculous. But Ben wasn't. Ben's like, no, you need to do what you need to do. So then Kerkering closes the game. But get Duran in that high-leverage situation. Who else do you have that can do that? Not Dave Robertson. Not in the 7th inning.
That's something that they've actually done before.
Yeah, they have.
When they didn't have. Now that Duran's the closer, they won't pitch him anywhere but the 9th inning. But when you had Alvarado that was your closer, Thompson would bring him in the 7th inning because of the highest leverage situation. I don't know why. I agree. I don't know why you couldn't do it right
there.
But
but also I think it's fair, and I do want to be fair, by the way, to point out that they are missing Zach Wheeler. They are missing Jose Alvarado by his own friggin' hand. And they are missing Harrison Bader, at least for
that was a big.
So that's 3. And the Dodgers aren't. They're not missing the guys of that caliber. They have Zach Wheeler. It's a different deal.
Well,
yeah.
We also don't know what the story is with Ranger Suarez. And let's just assume, which is dangerous, I know, something's got to be going on with Ranger Suarez after the last 2
We were just
starts of the
talking about
regular
that.
season.
Why you don't, speaking of high leverage situations and trying to preserve whatever it is, whether it's a 2-run deficit or 1-run deficit or whatever, we were just talking about that. Why wouldn't he come out in the 7th inning? High leverage, you got bases on. We could, and I agree with you. I was fine-ish with the tie. Even if Bryson Stott flies a ball, there are double plays out of it because Castellanos is on second base. Worst case scenario, Bryson Stott is out at first. There's
He's
still
still
a
on
human
second
on second
base.
base.
Yes.
That's my beef. It's
Yeah.
like there's still a human on
Yep.
second base. That's more important than having a person on first base. That is just simple. But I think that when you marry those two things together of the bunt and the fact that there was like, all right, Rangers out here. We saw him walk out to the pen. High leverage situation is there's a guy 2 on. Luzardo pitched great. He got in a little bit of trouble. Get it. Fine. Lift him. I thought for sure they're going to go to Ranger at that point because John and I were talking about he's done it before.
Yeah.
He's your second best reliever if he comes out of the pen. Period.
Absolutely.
Period. And you don't use him, and you're going to piggyback him off of Aaron Nola. It's insanity.
Which remains to be seen.
Wait, we'll see
whether they do that. So
We'll see.
I'm interested to hear what the reason would be should they not do that. Hopefully,
If
Nola.
they don't use Ranger tonight, then I think that says something.
Yeah, he's injured.
Something's
There's obviously
by the
something
way,
going
on that play, and I know we all know that, but the Dodgers were completely prepared. It's called a wheel play, as I know you know.
Perfectly executed.
Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable. Muncy came in. Mookie Betts had an out sprint. That's the other thing.
And he
Okay,
called
so-
it. He
yeah.
called it.
Right. So,
I mean, yeah, these are.
yeah. And
These
so
guys have
if
been
you
there, done
wanna-
that.
If you want to bunt Stott, fine. Bunt Stott, but not
into that.
Mookie Betts is arguably the fastest guy in
Yeah, and
baseball.
think about what
you have
Mookie's
him
done.
paired with Nick Castellanos. He's got to outsprint Castellanos to third
Yeah.
base to make the tag.
Think about it. That guy was an outfielder, and now he's playing infield.
Yeah.
That's how good an athlete Mookie Betts is. He's incredible, and it's just the play. That's what I was talking about with John earlier. Is like, my issue also is like, all right, you bunt to third. Where are you going? Third. Maybe I don't know. Just take a minute.
And he executed that.
It was great. It was a perfect
Stott
play.
Perfectly. No, I mean, the stop bunt, you can't bunt it any better. He could have maybe been a little lighter on the bunt, but come on. I'm not getting picky.
All right, so I told you this was a short
Yes.
segment because I knew we were going to yap, and it goes by fast. You missed a couple of other Phillies that are missing.
Yes.
Trey Turner, Kyle
Oh,
Schwarber,
yeah.
and Bryce Harper. This team will not win anything unless these guys hit.
Sid, I don't know if we mentioned this the other night. We're going to mention it tonight with Sean Kane producing. Your
shout out.
amazing husband.
Shout out.
Yes. And that is that since Game 2 of the 2023 NLCS, so that's 5 games in the NLCS, and there's 4 games against the Mets. That's 9, and 2 games this year. That's 11 games. Turner's batting 145, Schwarber's batting 186, and Harper's batting 200. That's your top 3 guys. You can't have it.
11 games.
That's it. 11 games.
11 postseason games.
11
Right.
postseason.
Well, no, and it looks like it.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, like that. I know Nick was upset and after the game, and the fans, the winds in our face. I mean, this is the worst possible nightmare scenario. The manager's making decisions that don't work. The bullpen's blowing up, and the star hitters aren't hitting.
Yeah.
Boom! That's how you're down 2-0.
And of all of them, it's the star hitters not hitting. The pitching is giving you as much as it can, and it's giving you
the
enough
fact that
to
it's
win.
piecemeal. You mentioned they would not be in the situation if Zach Wheeler was at their disposal. I don't think that anybody thinks that they would be down 0-2 if Zach Wheeler and Christopher Sanchez were your guys, because then you could have a different look of your bullpen. Honestly, I think you would have the approach differently. But it's a simple game. Score runs.
Also, in the construction of the postseason roster, you got to have. I would have had one. Ricky said even 2. I would have 1 or 2 less pitchers. Put Garrett Stubbs in there specifically for a pinch
running.
Well, if you're not going to use the pitchers, why the hell have them?
Exactly.
All right, that's Michael Barkan.
Thank you, everybody.
So listen,
Thanks, Michael B.
We'll see you tonight at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock
We
for our
open.
pregame show. Michael will be
Yes.
on there with Ricky and with Ben and with Ruben because they all get along, everyone.
We
They're
all
actually
love each
friends.
other.
They're actually friends.
Produced by Sean Kane.
all right, ice up.
I'll be doing
Take a
Bird's
nap.
Huddle.
Rest up.
Thanks, Johnny.
Thank
You're looking good in that seat, buddy.
Yeah, he does.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Too, lady.
Oh, thanks, buddy. I'm just here. Just hanging out.
All right, coming up. Lots of Phillies talk. Rob Thompson talked post-game about guys trying to do too much. Does a 2-0 deficit release that pressure, or does it intensify it? We'll talk about that coming up next. It is Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Philadelphia is a sports city full of passionate and knowledgeable fans.
Well, the Philadelphia Phillies season is pretty much over. They're basically dead. They're not going to win 3 straight games in this series. And I said after game 1, the reason they lost game 1 was the manager's fault. And you know what? You could probably blame him for game 2 as well. But the reason they're going to lose this series is because the top 3 guys in the lineup, Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, have gone a combined 2 for 21. That's unacceptable. That's not going to get the job done. It's on them as much as anybody else why the Phillies are going to get knocked out.
The fans last night were incredibly supportive.
Yep.
Yes, they booed the lousy at-bats by Trey Turner when he had them. The lousy at-bats. Even Kyle Schwarber took a little heat last night. You took heat on one of your at-bats where you were flailing at it like you couldn't swing a boat paddle. But they were supportive. They were loud. They were backing you when you were down 4-1. They were standing. They were making noise. So that is totally garbage to start pointing fingers at the fans and making it as if the fans are causing part of the problem here. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, because Donnie, the trend continues, right? You lose the World Series, you lose the NLCS, you lose the Division Series. So some might think, well, they just won't make the playoffs. Like, they made the playoffs.
No, they want to take a step back.
But instead of losing in 4, they might lose in 3, Johnny.
Good morning to you, too.
Oh, no, it's not a good morning.
No, it is.
Morning.
It is. I don't do the after. I can't do the walk around and mope and growl at people and stuff like that.
Well, I'm not growling at anybody, but it's not a good morning.
You don't. You
not a
don't
good
do
morning.
that. But a lot of people do.
Sure.
Some of them work in this building. I just look at it as they are who we thought they were, and I'm ashamed that I drank some of the Kool-Aid on some of the stuff, but the manager is just my prevailing thought this morning, is that Rob Thompson is exactly who I've always thought he was.
Well, it's not just Rob Thompson.
Well, I understand, but he is an excellent leader of men as far as just to create an atmosphere where people like coming to work. But he is also a horrible strategist, and I've said it from the time he was hired. He's a horrible strategist. He's cost them numerous times in his managerial career. And last night is the absolute exclamation point on it. He's a ridiculously poor chess player, and I can't take it anymore.
Oh, yeah.
I can't take it anymore.
Do a little bit too much right now, instead of just being themselves and looking for base hits, and the power will come.
All right, that's Rob Thompson. Yeah, the guys are doing too much. Maybe it'll help that no one's giving him a chance. Listen, I don't know. I don't know how these guys are going to respond. I could sit here and say Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, they're not going down like this. We've seen them go down like this last year and the year before.
And the year before.
Yes. So, but I actually like where we are right now. Backs against the wall. Really nobody who thinks the Phillies are winning the series. Who thinks the Phillies are going to win tonight? And if they win tonight, it's just, well, they're going to win one game.
Exactly. I think that's the thought. It's like, oh, well, they're going to win tonight, and then they're just going to lose on Thursday. But the fact that it's back-to-back, I think, is somewhat helpful. When you win tonight, there can be that carryover. And I know we heard from Jason Worthing, who's talking about we've heard this for the last several postseasons, not just here in Philadelphia, but really nationwide, about that layoff, the 5 and 6 days off. And I know Worth was talking about that. There is something to be said about momentum, and there is something to be said about trying to get stuff on your side. So if you win it tonight and then you come right back at it, and listen, you don't know when that game is. It's a late game tonight, and then it could be a quick turnaround. It could be a 6 o'clock Eastern game on Thursday. That's a quick turnaround.
Oh, for sure.
Which should be helpful when you win a game to all right, well, let's just keep everything going. If the bats are going, we're going to keep everything going as well as it should. So I don't hate it.
I'm checking.
I don't hate it.
I'm checking the BetParks app. The Dodgers are minus 186 tonight. Significant favors.
All right.
So again, this is where Rob Thompson, the moves that he's making, whether right or wrong, whether it's his fault or it's not, they're not working. This is where you need hey, nobody's giving us a chance.
Gotta
the
look
whole
inside.
world's against us. Use whatever. Like go look on websites and see what people are saying. Like look, everybody's saying we're going to lose this game. Like you need some type of an edge. We have some text there, Ray Dunn, on the text line 610-632-0975.
Yeah, not if you want to feel better, though. Steve from Havertown. I wasn't able to get on the program yesterday, but don't worry. I've saved up plenty of anger and rage over the last 24 or so hours. This team is lifeless. It starts with our loser, glorified babysitter of a manager. For years, we have watched him make incorrect decision after incorrect decision in the playoffs. This year, we have examples such as leaving Robertson in after the sixth, never pitching Ranger Suarez, and now laying down a sac bunt with a man who I could beat in a 40-yard dash on second base. I was at bank on Monday, and the place was ready to explode. Rob Thompson said that he had enough of it and decided to kill all of the momentum. Unfortunately, I do believe that they win tonight, not because they have any chance, but because the pressure is off. Much like the ninth inning on Monday night, they will tease us with a come-from-behind win and then rip our hearts out once and for all.
I do have to say that I think that, it's not, you don't have a sumo wrestler on second base that was trying to get to third and Nick Castellanos. Nick Castellanos is still...
He's a viable runner. It's not
he's
like
okay.
He's not injured. He's not, I get it, he's not the fastest guy on the team. He's not probably even in the top 5, but he's not in the bottom 5.
No. Yeah, this isn't Cecil Fielder that you have on second base or somebody. Like, Nick Castellanos is still pretty athletic. He plays outfield.
I get it. But I think that the real point is it's just like, just take your chances with a hit. Take your chance with a hit. Worst case scenario, he just hangs out on second. And you get another chance because there was no outs.
Phillies lose tonight. Phillies lose game 4 tomorrow. Whichever. Is Rob Thompson still the manager next year?
Yeah, I mean, he's had a rough year. For a team that won 96 games and in the position that they were in to claim the second straight NL East title, he's taken a lot of flack. And some of it is warranted. And I'm not going to sit up here and just apologize for everything that Rob Thompson has done because I don't think that any manager is perfect. Obviously, Charlie Manuel, who we love, didn't do everything right at all times. But the players do play for him. I'd probably take exception to him being calling a babysitter because I don't think Nick Castellanos would call him a babysitter at all. I think that he doesn't put up with a lot of stuff from his players if they're not doing something right. I think he is a player's manager in certain aspects. I don't know how you fire a guy that just won you 96 games.
It'd be tough.
I don't know. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I just don't know how you do it.
Here's what I don't know. I don't know if they get swept, how you bring him back and sell that to your fan base.
There's going to be a lot of tough sells, I would think, because there's going to be players that are going to be coming back because of their contracts that I think people are going to be like, we can't rinse and repeat.
Castellanos, you have to get rid of.
They tried last year.
But I agree. They tried the last 2 years. But his relationship with Thompson.
Yeah, that's irreparable, I think, at this point.
And
you won't see him no more.
I mean, honestly. And I think it could be a good break for both.
Agreed.
I feel like Nick Castellanos has done everything he could possibly do here.
He's been good.
He's been a fine player. I think that he has lived up to his contract. I don't think that anybody's going to look at the guy like, oh, he didn't play. Listen, he's had some lulls. We all remember 2 seasons ago was like, whoa, okay, this is real tough. But then he turned it on a bit in the postseason. It's okay. I think that's going to need to be a clean break. There's going to be guys that maybe you're not going to be able to bring back that people are going to be disappointed about. What do you do with JT Realmuto?
He's coming back. See, that's the problem is you're going to run it back. And maybe you try to trade Bohm, who didn't have the value they were looking for last year.
Yeah, I sat next to someone, and it was a lovely gentleman on the game on Monday, and he was like, you know what the problem with the Phillies is they're old. I was like, listen, I hear you, sir, but you realize the Dodgers are older. He's like, no, they're not. I was like, they are. They are older.
They're built with veterans as well. Yep.
They're older.
Yep.
There are guys that, Freddie Freeman's 36. Mookie Betts, I think, is 32. Shohei's 30. These guys are all in their 30s, but they're still performing. So I get that they are old, but it is possible to be successful with veteran players.
Ray, give me another text.
All right, we'll keep with the positive mentality here. Tom from Lansdowne. Topper is gone. Nice man, way too soft. Casty's a wise guy, bad clubhouse guy. Ranger will not be back. The outfield stinks. Bader stays. I hope Schwarber goes to Cincy. Let the overrated Harper carry them 6 more years of Rhys Hoskins looking like numbers. Why are we shocked? 142 years, 2 championships. I don't drink the Kool-Aid anymore.
There you go.
Shipping off Kyle Schwarber.
This was actually a text we received at 10:01. So
right
we had yet to get into any content. Tom just wanted to make sure at the beginning of the show
he wanted everyone to know.
Down.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. All right.
No hope in Tom's world.
Up with hope, down with dope. as some people once said. 610-632-0975. All right, what's at stake tonight? Ken Rosenthal hinted about some changes. He was on that Foul Territory podcast. We'll play that for you coming up next. Middays with Marks. Amy Fatul in the building today. Don't go anywhere.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Will they get swept? I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies trailed 2-0 in the National League Divisional Series out in L.A. for Game 3 tonight against the Dodgers. Teams in their scenario have only won 10 of 90 series since this has been the divisional series format. The odds are against them. The odds are against them certainly when their stars aren't producing. Rob Thompson talked about the guys trying to do too much.
I think those guys are trying to do a little bit too much right now, instead of just being themselves and looking for base hits, and the power will come.
I got to find something tonight. The season depends on it. Aaron Nola getting the start for the Phillies. Game 3 begins at 9:08 out at Dodger Stadium this evening. Phillies-Dodgers Game 3. As for the Birds, one day away from Eagles-Giants up at the Meadowlands on Thursday Night Football. Saquon Barkley said yesterday he's sore but expects to play. We'll be joined by Jordan Bernard of ESPN coming up at 12:55 to break down the matchup. This update is brought to you by Mattress Firm. Mattress Firm's Upgrade Your Sleep sale is here. Find your perfect bed and save big on better rest today. Mattress Firm. They make sleep easy. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the best Birds coverage. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
And it almost felt criminal that you give Saquon Barkley one carry in the second half. Like, that seems ridiculous. But then when I take a step back, and this is not me sticking up for Sirianni or Patullo, both of them need to be better. The rushing attack's not working. Nope. So it's like, okay, you could keep giving them the ball and keep giving them the ball, but when you're getting tackled for 1 and 2 yard gains, or sometimes tackled for loss, what do you want them to do? I think the main issue with this team, it's not Patullo, it's not Sirianni, it's not even Jalen, in my opinion. I think it's the offensive line. We talk about a lot that the Eagles are so good because they build along the trenches. And when you got dominated yesterday, go back and watch the game. They got dominated on both sides of the line of scrimmage. That's why you lost the football game.
There were a lot of penalties in that game. They're just not playing clean football. They're getting away from the details. That was a big buzzword that you heard in the locker room yesterday. You know, we got to get back to the details. We got away from the details. And for a team that prioritizes that, they've sort of lost their way a little bit. And I would also say this. They're not playing complimentary football. And to expect a defense that I thought and I think has been playing lights out throughout the season under some pretty challenging circumstances, to expect them to go out there and hold a team to 3 points for the entirety of the game when they played 74 snaps is unrealistic. And it's unfair to that group. I think that they played some pretty stout defense, but eventually that proverbial dam will break, and the offense was unable to hold up their end, and that's why they lost that game.
I've defended Bryce Harper a lot. I've defended Kyle Schwarber a lot.
But that's fair.
But
that's fair.
Yeah, but saying that they have been, great postseason performers, right? These guys, look at their numbers. Their OPS is some of the highest we've ever seen, and they're the best in franchise history and all that. But when you go back now and look at the last 10 games, right, in the postseason, the Phillies are 2-8 since Game 2 of the NLCS in 2023. 2-8, and they're 1-4 at home. Like, I love to talk about the postseason success of Harper and Schwarber, and I love to talk about Citizens Bank Park. Oh, man, what a tough place to play. Not the case really right now. 1-4 at home since Game 2 of the NLCS, and Schwarber and Harper. I mean, they got to carry this team, and I know it's not all on them. I understand baseball. There's 9 guys in the lineup. It also revolves around the starting pitching and the bullpen and all that. But these are our big stars. Like, we always love to talk about in 2022, Bedlam at the bank, and Bryce Harper showed up. Man, he's the best. Well, now it's time to put your money where your mouth is because we haven't seen it in a couple years, and we need it tonight. This is a do-or-die game tonight.
Are scraping. They're going back to LA. It's hard to imagine them winning this series, of course. And then if the series ends at some point and the Phillies end up losing, there are going to be a whole lot of questions about the future of this team, how they're going to go forward. Schwarber and Real Muto are free agents. You would think the Phillies want them back. They don't have obvious internal replacements. Rob Thompson as manager, I would say he has done a good job. He is not the problem, but I would expect if the Phillies go out, there to be some kind of change.
Yeah, what's the change? I guess we'll contemplate that, and then if and when the Phillies actually lose, that will be the thing we talk about.
Yeah.
For a long time. That was Ken Rosenthal on Foul Territory. Just to know, Ken Rosenthal, after they fired Joe Girardi, was very aggressive in saying, what's that going to do?
Yeah,
not going
to do anything.
Is that going to solve the bullpen problem?
Are
is
you
that going to
sure?
solve?
It's won like 300 and something games since that fight.
Right. But the point of that is that Rob Thompson puts guys out there, and if they don't perform, hitting coach. I remember when Milt Thompson got fired as the hitting coach. It's like, well, did Milt Thompson stop? Did he forget how to be a hitting coach? No, but when guys don't perform, they're going to look to bring other people in to try to change things. And I think that's where we are with this team right now.
I mean, the thing is, we were talking about running back. Basically, it was run back from last year. And so it's, what's the definition of insanity? You're doing the same thing and expecting different results. They did, obviously, some different things. There's different guys they brought in. The trade deadline, I thought they brought in a couple of good acquisitions. But at the core, it's the same team as last year.
Yep.
So when we see them going cold again, you can't not have PTSD and be like, I already know how this ends. I saw it last year.
Yeah, and it's the same thing.
I saw it against the Diamondbacks. So that's what's frustrating, and there always is going to be someone. Think about the end, towards the end, where Charlie Manuel. I remember there was a time we were sitting in there watching a press conference, and he had that bullpen that was atrocious towards the end, just really, really terrible. And someone asked him, why didn't you put in, name whatever random reliever you can think of from that time. And Charlie just basically looked and said, like, what do you expect me? You know who's out there. What do you expect me to do? Right. And you can tell when that guy's at the end of his rope, and I was like, well, that's it. Was it Charlie's fault that they couldn't score and couldn't win games? No. But at the end of the day, somebody is going to answer for it. And there are decisions the manager can make that can improve your team. And that's when it's going to happen. So I don't want to get there because I'm hoping it doesn't come to that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you think about the play at third base, the bunt that Castellanos at third base. Huge play in the game. Trey Turner, you had mentioned it earlier. If he throws the ball up the thread, that's an out. That changes the dynamic of the game.
You get him.
I mean, think about the small plays and the small moves that change the series. This really isn't like you look at the series and you're like, oh, the Dodgers are dominating the Phillies. No, they're not. I mean, these games have been decided by minuscule plays.
We're in the 7th inning. How many hits did you see on that board?
2.
Think about it. It's not like that they were like, oh, yeah, they gotten 7 hits and just hadn't been able to scratch across a run, either team. No, both pitchers were doing exceptionally well. It was a very evenly matched game. And honestly, without some of those miscues, and you can go back to game 1, 2 on that, this is a completely different series. But that's what high-level, high-leverage baseball is. That's what the postseason is. You make 1 or 2 miscues, and you find yourselves down 0-2. Yep.
You bring Robertson back out. It doesn't work out.
When the teams are so evenly matched. Now, if you're looking at some of the other series, and I know the Yankees won last night because Aaron Judge finally found anything.
That's how the Yankees win.
Yeah. I mean, he literally had 1 extra base hit going into that in the entire postseason, which is remarkable when you think about it. But I get it. That has been a one-sided series up until that game. and they were going to win one in Yankeeville, and that's fine. Well, I don't think they're winning that series. This has been a very evenly matched, and everybody going into this one always thought, like, whoever wins this one is going to be the World Series favorites because of how evenly matched the Dodgers and Phillies are.
Yeah, Ray, why don't you put that in your pipe and smoke it? This hasn't been a blowout so far. They're not being embarrassed by the Dodgers. These are two very close games.
There's 6 Hall of Famers in this series.
Yeah.
I'll take a lot of solace this offseason while I'm sitting there 2 weeks from now with no baseball saying, it was close. It was nice.
It was close.
It was close.
If you were playing horseshoes, they probably get a win. You get a count.
What color flag are we putting up in center field for it being close?
Well, I don't do moral victories, just so you know. So
I'm just saying, obviously, I feel we said it going in. The one viral clip I've gotten over the last month was the one where I said this was basically the World Series. People were like, yeah, you're right. Well, actually, people were like, no, you're wrong. Either the Dodgers suck or the Phillies suck. That was the entire comments section of that. I was like, I don't know what you want.
I didn't see the comments, but I saw there were a lot of people that viewed it. We've been hitting on some videos.
This was the World. Alec Boehm said it the other night. This is basically the World Series. These are two of the best teams. The Phillies are the most consistent all year long. Dodgers are the most talented team.
Right.
Problem is, you have put yourself in bad situations with the way the manager has dealt with this. Like you getting outmanaged by Dave Roberts. I don't know if I can forgive you.
Yeah, that's remarkable.
I actually probably won't be able to.
Some of the decisions that Dave Roberts makes, certainly in Game 2, I'm watching and I'm like, whoa, okay. All right.
Like last night, my brother texted me that he's watching the Yankees game. He's like, it's making me start to believe about the Phillies. Like, they might have a shot. And I was like, one, the Yankees, with all due respect to our guy Brandon in the back there, they don't have a shot. Two, the Phillies, if that's making you believe, you have to hope that Dave Roberts goes basically Roberts masterclass over the next 3 games where he makes all of the wrong moves.
He might get you 2.
It's possible.
But he tried to hand you a game, and you handed it back to him. That's the thing. It's been close.
But it's right.
But their stars haven't really showed up either. That's the crazy thing.
Right. Ohtani's, he did have obviously it turned out to be the game winner when you look at the end of the score. But that was the first time he has not hit well at Citizens Bank Park. He continued to not hit particularly well. He did have the one hit, but they struck him out. They get him to ground out.
Well, that ends on pitch 1 tonight when Aaron Nola throws a meatball in the middle of the plate. Right? Like, isn't that your worst case scenario?
We all need to wrap our heads around Aaron Nola giving up a solo home run. It's going to happen, so just accept it. Go into this down 1-0 in the game. It's going to happen.
We're talking about a world in which Nola's pitching Game 3 as the starter.
What's the reasoning behind that?
And we don't have any reasoning behind that.
We do.
There is reason.
Because he can't come out of the bullpen because he sucks.
Oh, you don't feel comfortable coming out of the bullpen? I don't feel comfortable with them starting.
You're listening to Middays with Marks on 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN and WPEN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. Think about that. The whole reason you didn't use Ranger Suarez so far is because you wanted to use him out of the bullpen as a piggybacker to Aaron Nola. Your thoughts?
What's the reasoning behind that?
It's okay. We're going to be fine.
Thank you, Matt Gelb, for that.
Oh, he was so annoyed with the answer. We played it a couple times yesterday.
Because honestly, it's like, wait, I'm sorry. This is what it's not a reaction. This was the plan.
Right, it's the plan.
We love the plan.
We're gonna not use Ranger, who's the third best starter for a guy with a 6 ERA.
I'm gonna send it out to picture of just him sitting.
It's time for feedback.
Oh, is it time for feedback?
Well, someone saved over our what's the reason already.
It took off 1 second.
They already erased it. That's a great one.
Well, because I guess Matt was putting in our new putting it open for our new segment. Now let me play this. I wanted to get to this because we're gonna switch the conversation a little bit to the Eagles coming up, but this should make people feel better. Put your hotkey up there. Put my hotkey up there.
Go Phillies! Woo, woo, woo.
That's Ric Flair.
Go Phillies! Woo, woo, woo.
Do you remember what Charlie Manuel said? This is 2010. He said, "To beat a man, you got to beat the man," and he started talking about Ric Flair.
Yes.
But he couldn't say Flair because of he said Flair.
Yeah.
Ric Flair, Space Mountain. So I got Ric Flair. I found his rep or somebody. And I'm like,
really? I was like trying to listen. I was like, it was Ric Flair.
Charlie Manuel.
Nature Boy.
I said the rep. Charlie Manuel was talking about Ric Flair. He's a big fan. So we got Ric Flair on the air. This is when I worked with Mike. I was Mike's producer. And he's in the back of a limo. And you know these wrestlers, they live the hard life. They're on the road.
We all know the song. If you don't know the Ric Flair, spiel.
Yeah,
but they're talking about his shoes, the crocodiles on his feet. That's good stuff.
I'm in the wrestling algorithm since Hulk Hogan died for whatever reason, and I can't get enough of it. Ric
So then
Flair's,
you're just going to perpetuate it.
Ric Flair's great. So we get him in. He's in the back of this limo, and this is great. This is classic Mike. So we're trying to get him to do go Phillies, woo woo woo.
Right.
And this is the best one we got.
Go Phillies. Woo, woo, woo.
So he's giving us a low energy. He's by himself in the back of a limo, and Mike's going, no, that's not no. I need more energy out of you. So he's telling Flair this.
He's saying, Flair, you're not Flair enough for me.
That's like the fourth take, and that's the best he could get. I was so uncomfortable because I'm like, Mike,
Just stop talking to him right now. We're good. I mean, the guy's.
I can hear that back and forth in my head too.
Rick, can we do it one more time? Just a little bit more ooh on the woo.
That's what he did.
I'm sure he did.
And I remember looking at Mike, and he scrunched up his face, and he's going,
It wasn't good enough. No,
like,
it's just not. We're not there yet.
I need some more.
We're not there yet.
And Rick probably was hungover because he was like,
because he's Ric Flair.
Because he's Ric Flair, and he was out the night before.
Do whatever he
and it's
wants. He's Ric Flair.
2:30 in the back of a limo, and
Just like, this is all I got, guy from Philadelphia. That's going to be my new favorite.
oh man! All right. Believe me, the Phillies are on the table. 610-632-0975. Text line, keep them coming. We'll get to some, but Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, and A.J. Brown. Oh, they got together. Did they have lunch or something?
I think it was a morning meeting.
Oh, did they have breakfast?
It was a brunch. Maybe it was brunch.
Brunch. I could totally see that happening. So Hurts and Barkley addressed the situation yesterday. They talked about it. What did they say? We have that for you coming up next. It's Middays with Marks. Don't go anywhere.
The Fanatics and...
And it almost felt criminal that you give Saquon Barkley one carry in the second half. Like, that seems ridiculous. But then when I take a step back, and this is not me sticking up for Sirianni or Patullo, both of them need to be better. The rushing attack's not working. Nope. So it's like, okay, you could keep giving them the ball and keep giving them the ball, but when you're getting tackled for 1 and 2 yard gains, or sometimes tackled for loss, what do you want them to do? I think the main issue with this team, it's not Patullo, it's not Sirianni, it's not even Jalen, in my opinion. I think it's the offensive line. We talk about a lot that the Eagles are so good because they build along the trenches. And when you got dominated yesterday, go back and watch the game. They got dominated on both sides of the line of scrimmage. That's why you lost the football game.
There were a lot of penalties in that game. They're just not playing clean football. They're getting away from the details. That was a big buzzword that you heard in the locker room yesterday. You know, we got to get back to the details. We got away from the details. And for a team that prioritizes that, they've sort of lost their way a little bit. And I would also say this. They're not playing complimentary football. And to expect a defense that I thought and I think has been playing lights out throughout the season under some pretty challenging circumstances, to expect them to go out there and hold a team to 3 points for the entirety of the game when they played 74 snaps is unrealistic. And it's unfair to that group. I think that they played some pretty stout defense, but eventually that proverbial dam will break, and the offense was unable to hold up their end, and that's why they lost that game.
I've defended Bryce Harper a lot. I've defended Kyle Schwarber a lot.
But that's fair.
But
that's fair.
Yeah, but saying that they have been, great postseason performers, right? These guys, look at their numbers. Their OPS is some of the highest we've ever seen, and they're the best in franchise history and all that. But when you go back now and look at the last 10 games, right, in the postseason.
Yep.
The Phillies are 2-8 since Game 2 of the NLCS in 2023. 2-8, and they're 1-4 at home. Like, I love to talk about the postseason success of Harper and Schwarber, and I love to talk about Citizens Bank Park. Oh, man, what a tough place to play. Not the case, really, right now. 1-4 at home since Game 2 of the NLCS, and Schwarber and Harper. I mean, they got to carry this team, and I know it's not all on them. I understand baseball. There's 9 guys in the lineup. It also revolves around the starting pitching and the bullpen and all that. But these are our big stars. Like, we always love to talk about in 2022, Bedlam at the bank, and Bryce Harper showed up. Man, he's the best. Well, now it's time to put your money where your mouth is because we haven't seen it in a couple years, and we need it tonight. This is a do-or-die game tonight.
Deserves a raise or well, at least lunch.
I would have loved it. They like printed it out and like we just named every single team. I'm sorry, sir. That doesn't rhyme. Doesn't matter. We're gonna say it. It's real catchy. We're gonna say every single team, and then we're gonna throw in Penn State too. What? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it does. Just sing it. Go. And now everybody sings it.
It really is. It's great.
Have you heard the jingles for other cities?
No.
It'll break your brain.
The other Rally House jingles?
Rally House is
See,
outside of here. They do the same thing, but with the other teams.
Oh, wow.
It's like once you break from the bubble of Philadelphia
don't hear
and
that.
hear the Rally House jingle for another city, it'll change your world
I want to live in
forever.
the bubble that only Rally House has the song here.
It may ruin what it does for us here. If you hear it in I don't need
It doesn't
to know.
exist.
You know what it's like? Remember the said guy, the Phillies guy that goes, said?
Yes.
When he reemerged, was it last year or the year before? It took everything away
Yeah, like
from the original.
2022,
Was it
maybe
the World
23.
Series year?
Probably 22. Feels
Yeah,
like, hey,
feels
feel
like
good.
that.
We're on a run here. Let's go find
Yeah.
the said guy.
Right.
It's like you should exist. It's like when you see a teacher outside of the school. I don't like it. You'd only exist inside the school.
That's
Stay
right.
in the school.
It should be
I'm
awkward.
confused.
It should be awkward if you see your teacher. You should not try to talk to them. You should just let them be.
No, they don't. I wouldn't want to talk to
No, they don't want to talk to you. So
Of course
no,
they
don't talk
So
to them.
Rally House doesn't exist outside of the
Only here.
Philadelphia area.
Okay, never
here.
mind. I regret saying a word.
Right,
I never
Ray.
said anything.
Also, they don't have as many teams. There's no other Rally House that would have as many teams.
Yeah, like what are we talking about? Cincinnati, the
The Rally House of
Bengals, Reds,
Tuscaloosa.
Bearcats.
Well, yeah, they extend to like Dayton Flyers.
I don't know, man. I'm just saying that if you
well,
were
now I'm
going to
go down the rabbit hole.
Well,
and
you
try to
should.
find
Now I need
these.
to hear it.
Yeah,
Now I need to
exactly.
hear it.
I got to find one.
Don't do it. It'll ruin it for you.
Anyway, you guys were on location at Rally House, which was a lovely place.
It was a lot of fun. Tomorrow on the program, I'm announcing this to the world for the first time. The co-host for tomorrow's show will be Harry Mays. Makes his Fanatic, not debut because he used to work here, but he makes his Middays with
Return.
Marks.
His debut here on this show.
He returns to the Fanatic tomorrow.
Love it.
Correct.
Love it.
And then we're gonna have somebody on Friday as well. We have a co-host on Friday that we will be announcing. We'll probably do it tomorrow. We'll say who's coming on Friday. So lots of fun stuff. Also, there's this industry website. It's called Barrett Media, where Jason Barrett, who actually was one of the first program directors when this station was on AM. Very, very briefly before then he got another job somewhere else. But so he was technically probably my first program director here, although it was very, very brief. So now he has it's an industry website for news and for sports and things like that. So I just saw this morning someone sent it to me where they did a write up. So I did an interview with a guy last week, and I forgot about it, and then it got written up. So now I'm like, because when I get rolling, sometimes I get rolling. And I'm like, what did I say?
What did I say?
Like, was I ripping my former employer? Like, was I talking about something? Like, did I say something stupid? I don't think I did. But yeah, there's something that's out there. So if I get removed off the air before
we'll find
that,
it. No,
you'll find out.
We'll come it right now.
Okay, sounds good. Give me some text before we move on to some Eagle stuff there, Ray Dunn.
All right. How does Johnny Marks think this team has a chance? This team has shown you nothing over 2 games. The stars are quiet, and the manager looks lost.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you look at it from like that, but like they weren't totally outclassed in the first 2 games. We talked about it. The games are close. Is it likely the Phillies are going to win this series? No, of course it's not likely. But it doesn't mean that you start with one game. You start with a win. That's it. You know, Amy Fadul, once upon a time, Carson Wentz tore his ACL. And
The season was lost.
the city was down.
Yeah.
Eagles hadn't won a Super Bowl, and this was our best chance. We're not winning a Super Bowl, and we knew it. I picked myself up off the ground. I came into work that day, and I said, damn it, the Eagles have built themselves a nice lead. They can still get the number 1 seed. Let's take it week by week, and this team can still win a Super Bowl. And if they do, I'm going to get Nick Foles tattooed on my back. And they won the Super Bowl, and I got Nick Foles tattooed on my back. So,
Yep.
if the Phillies win this series,
all right,
Ray Dunn is going to get Rob Thompson tattooed on his back. Ray.
That's okay.
No? No tattoo bets?
No.
If they win the World Series, you'll get Rob Thompson tattooed on your back.
I'm not really a big tattoosman.
It doesn't matter. That's the point.
I have no tattoos other than a
That's
big
the
Nick
point.
Foles and a Lombardi.
So I'm going to write that down.
No, we can work
You
on something
did
else.
say-
I'll go with like a mustache for like a while.
No, you
here.
rock a mustache anyway.
I've
Stop
only
it.
rocked a mustache once.
Oh, I've seen it.
I know.
So I know you have.
It was one weekend.
And while it wasn't great, I will give you that. It is not a tattoo for life. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. You said you would ride the bull. So I did say, I texted Ray, if Harrison Bader ties the game, I think I would wear his jersey for a month or something, which is true, including on air. And to which I told my son, he was like, on air, Mom? No one wants to see you in a jersey on air. I was like, that's a good point. But you said you would ride the bull for.
I was going to. I was fully ready to. They came back and won that game. I was hopping on the bull.
So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and put it down for the world.
I'm not asking for a face tattoo.
Yeah,
I hear you.
It'll
I don't like tattoos either.
It'll be a business tattoo.
Yeah,
business tattoo.
Yeah.
I'm not letting you
And
guys
what a
bully
fun-
me into this one.
Well, it's happening. I already wrote it down.
Yeah.
Because then I have like the hedge in my head of like, yeah, I really want them to come back in this series, but also I don't want to have to explain Rob
It'll be real
Thompson's face
small.
for the rest of my life.
It has that,
All
just
right.
be like his name. Maybe we'll get him to sign it and you get Rob Thompson's
All right,
signature.
Rob Thompson's signature, maybe I get down
Done.
at the
That's
end.
all right. Now I'm going to take
On
that.
your
Yeah.
wrist?
Yeah.
He's like,
All right.
I'll become a watch guy.
Someone's bailing you out. According to John Kincade via text message, quote, I'll get the Rob Thompson tattoo if they win the World Series.
all right.
There you go.
Face.
Wow. There you go.
That's from him is a lot.
I want it to not look like Rob Thompson.
Yes.
Rob Thompson.
Yeah.
On his back.
Like a really bad version of it, like drawn by someone that's never seen Rob Thompson.
Hey, we'll send him to a maximum security prison. He can get a jailhouse tattoo.
There
of
you
Rob
go.
Thompson. There we go. As far as
We're
I'm
all
concerned,
in.
this is now contractual.
This is happening.
Yeah, that's binding.
Said out loud.
Okay.
Shout
There we
out
go.
you, John Kincade. Thank you. Appreciate you doing that
There
one.
we go. Phils are winning the World Series now. Thank you, John.
Mark it down.
Thank you, John.
Topper tattoos all around.
What time we have the segment until?
About a minute from now.
About a
Yeah,
minute.
where are we
Okay.
going? What's happening?
So we'll do the Eagles next because I don't even want to start it. Other than
There's
just,
a lot to get to. Other than there was a kumbaya meeting.
Well, yeah. Well, which is a good thing. It's a good thing that they met.
Communication's always good.
Absolutely. Try to get ahead of it, which they've already tried to do. We'll discuss that coming up because clearly Devontae not on the same page with Jalen. That could be on the field. AJ feels like it's a combination of on and off the field that they're not on the same page. When you win and you're successful, none of these things
Cures
matter.
all ills.
But what's happened since when the Eagles lost in 2023 and when they've struggled so far this year, all of a sudden this is resurfacing.
I mean, it's been the same thing, right? I mean, this does go back to 2023. That was the first cracks everybody talked about. There was like that. There's a certain divisiveness. There was no anybody really stepping up. The leaders were kind of squashed and quieted. There wasn't a real cohesive unit. That's why it derailed after the 10-1 start. And then you saw the start last year. And even honestly, when they started winning and they rattled off those 10 wins, there was still a little bit of irritation. The book and then the Brandon Graham telling us about how they're not getting along and whatever else. It was still there. But winning a Super Bowl, we forgot about it. Didn't mean it went away.
Didn't stop them.
No.
Didn't stop them from winning. So this year it's like, well, it doesn't matter until it matters. Well,
it's mattering.
It seems
Is that
like
a word?
It seems like it's
Mattering?
All right, so we have conversation on that. Your text at 610-632-0975. Phone calls, 610-632-0975. And we have a mashup of the other Rally House songs, courtesy of Matt Manerick.
Yes.
Do we want it?
I don't know.
We'll have it for you.
All right, we have it coming up next. That's a major league tease right there.
I cannot wait for this.
All right, that's coming up next. Middays with Marks.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Definitely a must-win. I'm Ray John with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies trail 2-0 in the National League Divisional Series to the Dodgers out in L.A. for Game 3 tonight. In this divisional series format, teams that find themselves in this position have won just 10 of the 90 series in which this applies. It doesn't look great for this team, and it certainly won't look great if the Stars don't start producing. Here's Rob Thompson talking about his guys.
I think those guys are trying to do a little bit too much right now, instead of just being themselves and looking for base hits, and the power will come.
Something needs to find itself here in this series for the Phillies. Tonight, it's Aaron Nola getting the ball in Game 3 for the Phils. Out there, 9:08 start time at Dodger Stadium. The season relies on this one. We're one day away from Eagles-Giants matching up at the Meadowlands on Thursday Night Football. Saquon Barkley said yesterday that he's sore but expects to play. We'll be joined by Jordan Verdon of ESPN coming up at 12:55 to break down that matchup. This update's brought to you by ExpressPros.com. Getting a new job can be easier with Express Employment Professionals. With Express, you'll have a local connection to the job market. Get started at ExpressPros.com to find a location near you. I'm Ray Dunn in your home for the best birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
I'm pointing the finger at Nick Sirianni because this right now, and this is much different than I felt 2 weeks ago or even after the A.J. Brown stuff. And with A.J. Brown, after he put the tweet out last week, I said, well, this doesn't have to be a big deal, but they got to fix things. It now feels like things are worse. This is Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni is not an offensive genius. Nick Sirianni was brought in for his leadership skills and to be the CEO head coach, or at least that's what he's developed into. And he's done a hell of a job. The offense looks pathetic. And there's obviously internal things that are going on because there's struggles offensively. And this is where Nick Sirianni needs to be Nick Sirianni and step in. If Turner, Schwarber, and Harper look like this, they may get swept, Todd.
Yes. I think Matt Gelb put out a tweet today, like Phillies are like 1-6 in the last 7 postseason games, and he put all the runs scored over the last 7 postseason games. And I think most of the games are 1s and 2s. There was like 1-3 in there, and then 1 7-run game. They won the 7-run game. And so, yeah, you have the big boys at the top, and I've been saying this since the beginning of the season. Did they do enough? There's a lot of like hand wringing earlier in the season about Stott and Marsh and Alec Boehm and should Justin Crawford come up and Aiden Miller and all this stuff, right? And in the end, it was like, well, the big guys have to produce, and for most of the season they did. I mean, Turner, is going to get some MVP votes. Schwarber could finish second for MVP. Harper, by his standards, did not have a Bryce Harper type season, but he's still a very feared hitter, of course. And so 1 for 11, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. It's got to be much better. That they need to start scoring some runs because you can't have the bullpen every single game.
Nope.
Just like have to pitch to perfection to try to win a game.
Well, what is up, Zozone? Where do we start? All right, I would say the big story, at least according to the fans, is Rob Thompson's decision with David Robertson in the bullpen. What are your opinions on what he did?
Yeah, so I've written about this. I've talked about it a lot, and I always feel like there's a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking. I've learned a couple things in baseball is that anytime a manager, and my first manager I ever covered was Larry Boa, then it was Charlie Manuel, then it went Ryan Sandberg, Pete McKinnon, Gabe Kapler, Joe Girardi, Rob Thompson. Every single one, when they've made a pitching change and it didn't work, it was because the manager was an idiot.
Yep.
Sometimes the moves work, Sometimes they don't work. Now, that doesn't mean that the manager is not open to criticism. He absolutely is. But in that situation, to be perfectly honest, I did not, when David Robertson started that 7th inning, I did not go, what the hell is going on here? Why is he doing this? For me. And I didn't say that because David Robertson is paid to do that job. He was facing the 8 and 9 hole hitters. Will Smith is a great player, but he's banged up. And so I'm sitting there going, okay, you have the right-handed setup guy who only threw 6 pitches the previous inning, and he's facing the 8 and 9 hole hitters. He should be able to get those guys out. Instead, he gave up a single and hit a guy in a breaking ball. And then you bring in Strom to face Shohei Ohtani. Now, obviously, it did not work out at all, but I don't think that – I think this game was lost earlier with the fact that this offense had 3 hits after the 2nd inning when they scored 3 runs off Shohei Ohtani. You got to get them a little bit more support. Christopher Sanchez, 2-out walk. That was a big moment in the game. And the 2-out double to Kike Hernandez. Those were big moments in the game. So to pin it all on a pitching decision, I get it. It's super frustrating.
Yeah.
David Robertson has not been lights out down the stretch, but neither is Ryan Kirkering.
All right, yep. John Marks right done. Amy Fadul, Middays with Marks. John Kincade, we have signed the contract. He has terms, though, Amy. He says he's choosing his own artist, and he's not going to Graterford, i.e. a prison. I think it's actually called Phoenix now, the new ones.
Sure.
And he's not going to Kensington or Fishtown. Fishtown's where I got the tattoo. That stupid thing on my back. So if the Phillies win the World Series...
South Philly might be.
Well, he said main line. He wants cocktails and stuff.
Oh, God.
Sorry. Hold on. Let's talk. Mainline tattoos. Does that place exist? Mainline tattoos?
I can't imagine in
Bryn Mawr tattoos.
In downtown Bryn Mawr or Wayne.
If you think I'm not looking this up, you got another thing coming.
There's probably one. There's probably some moms out there that have some money that want to get the... Everybody has tattoos.
They get different kinds of tattoos, like eyeliner and eyebrows. Right. So I guess you could just go to one of those the estheticians and
a butterfly on the back of the neck or something. I don't know.
Count me bothered by the Fishtown slate right there.
I would think the Fishtown would be like a good spot.
There's a lovely place in Northern Liberties right there on 2nd Street.
Well, that's where you're going to go.
There's been a few times where I've wandered past, maybe after a little bit of, a couple during the day, what if I just got a tattoo?
Yeah, but he's right. He's right. That's the first thing I think of.
I found one in Malvern. Does that count?
Yeah.
That's like the edge of Mainline, right? Is that still Mainline? It's called Mainline Tattoo.
Pretty Mainline.
It's not Fishtown or Kensington. That's for sure.
I don't know what I'm working with. I'm just looking for Mainline tattooing.
Well, listen. If you needed more of a reason to root for the Phillies,
don't you want to see?
I
John
think they're
Kincade?
winning the World Series now.
So now that's what you needed?
That's what I needed. I'm back.
Go Phillies! Woo,
woo, woo.
5 hours of therapy had nothing on Kincade getting Rob Thompson tattooed on him.
And it has to be a really bad Rob Thompson face too.
Well, it's mainline tattoo.
Like with mine, and I don't want to take my shirt off right now. Just Google it. I've had people be like, "Well, it looks more like James Spader than Nick Foles."
Kind of the point.
Like, yeah, all right. Some say it looks like Lenny Dykstra, which is not what I want to hear. But anyway, yeah, and it's too big too. I'm telling you, Amy. I'm not going to say we were nearly divorced over it, but it wasn't fun for a couple weeks there because I didn't exactly share. She knew I was getting it done, but she wanted to be involved in the process, and I didn't allow that. And then I was like, yeah, it won't be that big. It won't be that big. And then it's a third of my back. Amy just saw it.
Sorry. That's amazing.
All right, hold on. Can you see? I'll do it right now. Whatever.
Yeah, let's see.
I don't know. For you.
So for those on the radio right now, he's turning his back around.
Hold on, wait.
Yes.
I'll put it out there.
Yes. So he's got his back to the camera right now. Amy's taking a picture of the Nick Foles tattoo.
That does not. I do. That is not. I mean, it does. You can see Nick Foles in there.
It's not a bad tattoo.
James Spader. Is that what they said?
It's not a yes.
I was gonna get you Dykstra a little bit.
No, see, that's what I don't.
It's almost worse. But the Super Bowl trophy adds to it. It is a substantial tattoo.
Yeah, it is.
A little bigger than I expected. Just being honest. I did. And
it's his face. Otherwise, if you do it too small, then it's just going to look like, I don't know, Charlie Brown or something.
That's what I said. There has to be context. You can't do something the size of a...
Yeah, you can't have like a little Charlie Brown stick figure with a little like...
No,
of course, there was a stick figure you could have done to denote Nick Nick Foles.
Right.
Yeah, you're saying that your Nick Foles tattoo was a little bigger than you expected?
Oh, see,
I guess-
there's a joke there.
I guess
There's a joke
it had
there.
to be.
Yes, it did.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be
It
telling
wouldn't
the
be Nick
proper
Foles.
story, right?
Wouldn't be Nick Foles.
Yeah. So, yeah, and the fun part is when you go to the shore and you hear people yelling Johnny Marks because they recognize you because of the stupid tattoo on your back. It's like, oh, that's right. I do have Nick Foles tattooed on my back, and that's anyway. All right. So, yeah, Eagles. All right. 4-1. Last week was just what a disaster. What a way to lose the game. And Amy, I was being positive, John, for the first 4 weeks because they were finding ways to win games. They're finding ways to win games. They're coming off the Super Bowl, which is the most important thing. Is that why would I not give them the benefit of the doubt? They just did this all last season, even if it's not pretty.
And they just did hey, we're kind of, miring in our own offense. We can't see the forest for the trees. We don't know what's going on. The defense is a mess. We just went through that, and they reset the button. There was a time that we were talking about, the defense, I hope they can just get to the middle of the pack. You know what I mean? Hopefully they rank 15th in the standings. Hilarious. They were the best defense by the end of it.
That was me.
Everyone was like that. I thought, gosh, if you could get to 14 or 15, that'd be a huge accomplishment. And then by week 10, you're like, at this point, go for the top defense. That's where they ended up.
They were.
So we were just there. Maybe that's why it's so irritating. We were just there.
Well, so now with injuries and the offensive line, probably the biggest thing, and we talk about it, so I'm not going to say that we don't talk about it, but Landon Dickerson, this is an ankle now. So he had the back, he had knee surgery. Now it's the ankle. It seems like he's going to miss a couple games, or at least he's going to miss this week.
And that's problematic because one of the things that you knew about the offense last year was the offensive line is going to be A-OK. Whatever happens, you've got a very solid offensive line. Mekhi Becton, it turned out to be a great player for them. Everybody across the line, Cam Jurgens, everybody fit in perfectly. Saquon Barkley could run. They knocked on Nick Sirianni's door and said, hey, listen, we're the best line in the entire NFL. We want our guy to run. So when you start to have some holes in that issue, which has been such a solid, let's go back to the first Super Bowl. That line has been solid, anchored by Jason Kelce for the better part of a decade at this point. One of the best consistent offensive lines. You've got Hall of Famers on there. So that to me is I know we're talking about the offense with Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown and everybody, but I have a problem right now with that line.
Well, I think I said it yesterday. They won 2 Super Bowls, and the strength of their team were their lines, offensive line and defensive line. The defensive line isn't what it was last year.
No.
And the offensive
I think
line,
there are a lot of injuries on that one.
big time.
Jalen Carter's.
Yeah, no, this is and that's why I went from everything's fine to this is a major problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because now you're having issues with the quarterback and the receivers, not just the receiver, the receivers. And Saquon Barkley after the game is saying, well, if I run the ball too much, you say I run the ball too much. If you're not throwing it enough, if you throw it, I'm not getting enough touches. What am I supposed to do? Yeah. He's frustrated. Who do we have first talking about it there? Here's Saquon talking about the meeting of the minds with him and Jalen and AJ.
Yeah, we had a conversation, but I'm not going to speak too much on it. I feel like that conversation is meant to stay between us, but focus was all about the team, and I think it was a good thing.
Yep, Jalen Hurts on the meeting. Here it is.
That's just us talking about the collective, talking about taking ownership for what we can, and talking about how we move forward as a team so we continue to find ways to win games.
Why is the need for a meeting, do you think?
Just really just teammates being teammates.
What was your takeaway conclusion of the meeting?
I don't want to make this about that, right? We got a short week. We got the division opponent coming in here. I enjoyed every second of it, and I'm enjoying every second of every opportunity we have to improve. And so that's what I've always made it about. That's what I'll continue to make it about. It's truly about the collective and what we do and the opportunities we have in front of us. And so everybody in this building just wants to take advantage of that.
Or you could have said, yeah, we're good. Everything's fine.
We're good. Everything's great. It's like when they say we're not going to talk about it, but then they proceed to talk about it. Right. All right. Well, now you've given us actually a little bit more. And, of course, there's going to be people on the outside be like, well, the media is going to make this a really big deal. You're not making it a big deal until someone says it's a big deal. You know what I mean? You have to talk about it. There's obviously issues that are going on in that offensive room, with whether it's with the wide receivers talking to the quarterback's not talking to the wide receivers. They're all in the same. talk about the deep pass to A.J. Brown. Talk about not on the same page. The question right after the game was asked, did you guys discuss that right after it happened? First thing any quarterback or wide receiver do after a clear miscommunication on a play like that would go over and be like, hey, what happened on that? Did I give you the wrong read? Did you not read it right? The answer was, did you guys talk about it? No.
No, it doesn't seem like they're doing a lot of talking about anything.
So I think Saquon hit the nail on the head. Communication's good. Meeting, good.
So you're not an evil radio host like me, because that's what a lot of the fans are like. The media making stuff up. They're
That's
totally
literally what they're
fine.
saying, though.
They're totally fine. You see the same thing that a lot of us see, which is that, and it doesn't mean that they can't have a good professional relationship. That's what Brandon said last year on the radio. He said that you have to keep business to business.
Right.
We know that they're not the same that they
friends,
were before.
Godfather
Right,
to children
right.
type of vibe.
We know that they're not there, but you can't let personal feelings get involved in business. And then he had to try to put the toothpaste back in the tube afterwards, because it's like, wow, what did I just say? I mean, Brandon's not making stuff up. You think that's not well known around the Eagles, that Jalen and AJ don't necessarily get along?
And that was the thing. It was like basically what Brandon Graham did was just took the curtain and put it back. People already knew that was going on behind the scenes. You don't see that offensive performance and the way that those two had been interacting on the field or off of it and think there wasn't something that had happened, some kind of, dissolution of a friendship or an aspect of it, whether they'd grown apart. Listen, who knows? I don't really care. But Brandon's point is valid. You don't have to like everyone you work with, but you do have to respect and work with everyone you work with. And that's where I think it needs to be changed. I don't know what happened. Something clearly happened. I'm sure they didn't want it to come to light, but it had already come to light. We saw the result on the field.
Yep.
It had already come to light.
Right. Yeah, I don't like Ray, but I pretend on the air that I like him.
Only took 10 days. A new record for me, personally.
Good job.
This is our 8th show. Didn't even take 10. Right?
Well, you were announced, that Thursday?
Yeah, but you didn't even come in.
Wait, you mean
I didn't see you until Monday.
You started the clock beforehand?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I mean,
he was announced.
Yeah, he was like, well, I hate it already.
I know he had a girls' field hockey game he was doing play-by-play on that day. He couldn't possibly come in and say hello. It's all right.
Someone's got to pay the bills around here, man.
All right, coming up, Dan Orlovsky. We've talked about plenty of personalities on offense this week. What's its structure? Dan Orlovsky gave his issue with the structure of everything earlier in the week. We'll play that for you coming up next. It is Middays with Marks, 97.5, the Fanatic. All right. Yeah, we shout out to our good friends over at Parks Casino, Bet Parks. Actually, I'm doing a little Phillies video with Maniac Malloy after the show coming up today. But you know what's up tonight. You want to live bet the game tonight? Get right to the Bet Parks app. Live bet the baseball playoffs, pro football, and more. 9 p.m. tonight. Where are you going to be? Game 3. You're in L.A. They're heavy favorites to sweep the series. Thursday Night Football tomorrow. The Birds up in North Jersey. There's always another way to win on the Bet Parks online casino and sportsbook app. It's the only app I would ever recommend. Bet Parks also has your favorite classic casino games right on your phone. Blackjack, craps, roulette, poker, hundreds of online slots, and all of your favorite sports. You can bet player performances and playoff baseball, football, and more. Join me on the Bet Parks app. New users, check this out, up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. BetParks.com for details.
Well, the Philadelphia Phillies season is pretty much over. They're basically dead. They're not going to win 3 straight games in this series. And I said after game 1, the reason they lost game 1 was the manager's fault. And you know what? You could probably blame him for game 2 as well. But the reason they're going to lose this series is because the top 3 guys in the lineup, Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, have gone a combined 2 for 21. That's unacceptable. That's not going to get the job done. It's on them as much as anybody else why the Phillies are going to get knocked out.
The fans last night were incredibly supportive.
Yep.
Yes, they booed the lousy at-bats by Trey Turner when he had them. The lousy at-bats. Even Kyle Schwarber took a little heat last night. You took heat on one of your at-bats where you were flailing at it like you couldn't swing a boat paddle. But they were supportive. They were loud. They were backing you when you were down 4-1. They were standing. They were making noise. So that is totally garbage to start pointing fingers at the fans and making it as if the fans are causing part of the problem here. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, because
Donnie, the trend continues, right? You lose the World Series, you lose the NLCS, you lose the Division Series. So some might think, well, they just won't make the playoffs. Like, they made the playoffs.
No, they want to take a step back.
But instead of losing in 4, they might lose in 3, Johnny.
Good morning to you, too.
Oh, no, it's not a good morning.
No,
it
is.
a morning.
It is. I don't do the after. I can't do the walk around and mope and growl at people and stuff like that.
Well, I'm not growling at anybody, but it's not a good morning.
You don't. You
not a
don't
good
do
morning.
that. But a lot of people do.
Sure.
Some of them work in this building. I just look at it as they are who we thought they were, and I'm ashamed that I drank some of the Kool-Aid on some of the stuff, but the manager is just my prevailing thought this morning, is that Rob Thompson is exactly who I've always thought he was.
It's not just Rob Thompson.
Well, I understand, but he is an excellent leader of men as far as just to create an atmosphere where people like coming to work. But he is also a horrible strategist, and I've said it from the time he was hired. He's a horrible strategist. He's cost them numerous times in his managerial career. And last night is the...
All right, we're back. It is Middays with Marks. 97.5 The Fanatic. Amy Fadul in today co-hosting. Harry Mays tomorrow makes his return to the Fanatic. He will be co-hosting all 4 hours. And then a special co-host on Friday.
A surprise.
Yep. Oh, yeah, I'm bringing everybody back. Who else can I bring back? I don't think there's anybody left.
Oh, you'll find someone.
I think you
about
could.
1 or 2.
One more will be back on Friday. A special surprise.
By the way, I want to clear something up because I got a phone call yesterday that I thought I was in trouble with management for a little bit. I was being sarcastic.
Oh.
I was in on the plan with the co-hosts. I got a very concerned call last night. Yes. From a certain programming director, because I made a joke yesterday that I was out of the loop on everything.
Right. Well, I had said you were out of the loop.
Yeah.
We were
kind of like a jokey joke, though.
Yeah.
It was a sarcastic radio.
Yeah.
Yes, but I realized sometimes my sarcasm is a little dry.
People really thought you were in the dark on it.
Yes. I'm very happy. All is well. I know what's going on. We do pass along information between the two of us.
We do.
Yes. John hates me already, but he keeps me in the
8
loop.
days in, or 10 days in your case.
We are in the communication field, and I do my best to communicate.
Also, time out here with the whole 10 days thing. I'm actually exactly spot on with 10 days. It's been 8 business days. There was a weekend in between.
8 shows.
Yeah, but it's been 10 days.
Oh, he just hated you over the weekend, apparently, too.
Did we?
No, John hates me. I didn't say I hated John.
Did we? I'm not going to do you and the Calarulo bit. I was kidding. I'm not going to.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine. I've got enough hate in my heart for him. I don't really have enough space elsewhere.
Strong. Strong.
All right. Do we have Dan Orlovsky?
That we do.
Oh my God! People were so happy that the Eagles lost, and isn't it great? Oh,
like-
they just can't wait for us to crash and burn everybody.
That is like, honestly, I know that it's not great to hear everybody talk poorly about the Eagles, but that's when you know you've arrived. Like everybody, we're the boogeyman. Everybody wants, we're the Patriots.
Oh, when the entire world
But better.
But better. You're right. When the entire world was tush push, I took it with the utmost compliment.
Thank you.
It's like we're the team that
You're talking
everybody
about me.
wants to talk about and is angry about because we're so good.
Do it.
Yeah, like bring it on. I
I love it.
It's it's unusual because I've never felt like this before.
Yeah, it's almost like when you feel joy here, you're like, wait a minute, something bad's gonna happen. Yeah, I appreciate that people didn't like the tush push. That's whatever. And then when people talking about the Eagles, it's not sustainable to run the ball all the time last year. Remember that? How much was that the national thing? Oh, you can't win running the ball. Hilarious. Tell me that again.
Until they do.
Until they did.
Right.
They did the whole time. So I knew everybody was going, you're not going to win if you don't get AJ the Brown. I get it. To take joy in another, like this level of joy, for these people that have no interest really outside of just the clicks and rage bait, I'm like, all right.
It's the other algorithm I'm in, which is the Kansas City Chief fans that are so angry.
They're so angry. You should worry about your own season there, guys. Okay?
Yeah,
it's not all happy land down there in Chief Kingdom.
Yeah, how about Chris Jones's effort on that Trevor Lawrence touchdown? Oh, my God.
You just lost to the Jags. The Jags. Trevor Lawrence. Chris Jones, you're supposed to be the elite. Oh, that was hilarious. I honestly, I couldn't believe my eyeballs. I rewound that to watch it again. They showed it again, obviously, but I was like, I'm sorry, what am I looking at?
Yeah, like, did he really just do that? All right, let me watch again because something else must have happened to cause him to do
someone must have gotten tripped. He fell down. His shoe was untied. Something happened. Nope.
He's injured like Ranger Suarez. That could be the only thing. Could be the only thing.
He's just sitting on a stool waiting to come in.
All right, here's Orlovsky talking about. So Ray, what's he talking about here? He's saying the personalities on offense?
No. He's talking about the actual offense itself, how predictable it is, not the personalities on offense.
All right, let's hear it.
Stagnant, that's a word to describe it. It's the most predictable offense in the NFL right now, one of them. I mean, if the Eagles are in the shotgun on first and second down, they're throwing the ball. They don't ever play under center anymore, and if they do, it's a guaranteed run, it feels like. And then what happens is early downs are killing this offense. They're not good on early downs right now, which is something they dominated in last year. So on early downs, they're behind the chains, and then they get into obvious second and or third downs, passing situations, and they're not built to handle all those different disguises and pressures. And they're still predictable with their routes. I mean, these are the third downs in the second half yesterday. A.J. Brown runs a slant in. They get to 3rd and 15, and then Benito runs a stunt. They get to 3rd and 13, and here's an all-out bluff pressure that is simulated with 7 guys in coverage. That's not how this offense is built to play. It's still wildly too predictable, and if they get into obvious passing situations and you play zone behind it, advantage defense.
Yeah.
Check. Got it.
I was having flashbacks. If you remember, after the 10-1 start, they didn't know what to do. They couldn't get anything going. They were just doing design Jalen Hurts runs all the time.
All the time.
They were blitzing Jalen Hurts. Now, we talked to Mosher yesterday about it. He says that they're not blitzing Jalen Hurts and they're just dropping back into coverage because now the Eagles are prepared for the blitz, and Jalen a lot of times just takes off in that moment. Now he can't because they have somebody spying him. Like, that was the biggest takeaway for me from Jalen in the game on Sunday was that he didn't even try to run. They had no design runs. He didn't scramble really at all.
Yeah, I was surprised there was no design runs because we've seen those. It worked successfully.
Yeah.
You certainly saw him against the Rams, and you saw him, the entire season. But a design run at least gives a little extra to the offense. And Orlovsky does have a valid point. Like, it is a very predictable. Like, A.J. Brown on a slant, I can write that down right now. And so the first half of I'll go back to even some of the Bucs game. You saw certain nuances, and you thought, well, that was exciting, and then you just didn't see it again. So I was wondering why, when you're looking at the game against the Broncos, why it was so one-dimensional, even more so than the previous weeks, where it's like they had gone completely backwards. What worked in the second half of the Bucs wasn't going to work again. You don't even give it a whirl. I understand that maybe it didn't work as well as you wanted it to, but you can't go completely vanilla.
I don't really.
You can go back to the Rams. We'd had halves. Like first half was bad, second half good. First half good, second half bad. This was just bad and bad. Yeah, stale and bad.
The Patullo conversation to me started last week because now you can say, all right, this is starting to look like 2023. We had to
in over his head.
Yeah, we had to assume there was going to be some growing pains, and that's fine. But now they've taken a step back. They're not taking steps forward.
Mm-hmm.
So at what point does the team start being like, okay, if it keeps going like this, what are we going to do? What's the backup plan?
Yeah, Nick Sirianni is your backup plan.
But I agree, but
is that where you want it? Because we've already been down that road, and it reversed itself. You had the Uno reverse card there.
He was helpless in 2023. He couldn't fix it. It got worse.
And that's the thing. I think that turned out to be a collective effort of just more of the same miring down in it's almost like analysis by paralysis. They look at all the toys they have and think, oh, we can do this, this, and this, and they end up just doing literally nothing, which is confounding because you have a lot of toys you can hang out and move around. And no, you're just going to build the same little house with your Lego blocks.
And they're not doing it. Coming up, news at noon, we have a legendary Randy Moss story, and Ray Dunn has a question about concert etiquette.
Oh.
And we got to play we
got to do the Rally House.
We got to do the Rally House mashup. We were still trying to get it together, so we spoiled the. Don't do it now. We can do it on the other side. All right? That's coming up right after this. Middays with Marks, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Will they get swept? I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies trail 2-0 in the NLDS, are out in L.A. for Game 3 tonight against the Dodgers. In this divisional series format, numbers are stacked against the Phillies in terms of winning this series. They're just looking to win a game, and Rob Thompson spoke about the Stars not doing their thing so far.
I think those guys are trying to do a little bit too much right now, instead of just being themselves and looking for base hits, and the power will come.
We'll see if they find anything tonight. They'll have Aaron Nola out there on the mound for this Game 3. Again, it's win or go home. 9:08 tonight, Dodger Stadium, Phillies and Dodgers in the NLDS. 1 day away from the Eagles and Giants matching up at the Meadowlands on Thursday Night Football. Saquon Barkley said yesterday's sore, but expects to play. We'll be joined by ESPN Giants reporter Jordan Rodon coming up at 12:55 to break down the matchup. This update is brought to you by Macy's Backstage. Macy's Backstage is a whole department inside your Macy's store where you can find the looks, all for under $30. With new arrivals every day, you never know what you'll find. Find location at macy'sbackstage.com. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the best birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
And it almost felt criminal that you give Saquon Barkley one carry in the second half. Like, that seems ridiculous. But then when I take a step back, and this is not me sticking up for Sirianni or Patullo, both of them need to be better. The rushing attack's not working. Nope. So it's like, okay, you could keep giving them the ball and keep giving them the ball, but when you're getting tackled for 1 and 2 yard gains, or sometimes tackled for loss, what do you want them to do? I think the main issue with this team, it's not Patullo, it's not Sirianni, it's not even Jalen, in my opinion. I think it's the offensive line. We talk about a lot that the Eagles are so good because they build along the trenches. And when you got dominated yesterday, go back and watch the game. They got dominated on both sides of the line of scrimmage. That's why you lost the football game.
There were a lot of penalties in that game. They're just not playing clean football. They're getting away from the details. That was a big buzzword that you heard in the locker room yesterday. We got to get back to the details. We got away from the details. And for a team that prioritizes that, they've sort of lost their way a little bit. And I would also say this. They're not playing complimentary football. And to expect a defense that I thought and I think has been playing lights out throughout the season under some pretty challenging circumstances, to expect them to go out there and hold a team to 3 points for the entirety of the game when they played 74 snaps is unrealistic. And it's unfair to that group. I think that they played some pretty stout defense, but eventually that proverbial dam will break, and the offense was unable to hold up their end, and that's why they lost that game.
I've defended Bryce Harper a lot. I've defended Kyle Schwarber a lot.
But that's fair.
But
that's fair.
Yeah, but saying that they have been, great postseason performers, right? These guys, look at their numbers. Their OPS is some of the highest we've ever seen, and they're the best in franchise history and all that. But when you go back now and look at the last 10 games, right, in the postseason, the Phillies are 2-8 since Game 2 of the NLCS in 2023. 2-8, and they're 1-4 at home. Like, I love to talk about the postseason success of Harper and Schwarber, and I love to talk about Citizens Bank Park. Oh, man, what a tough place to play. Not the case, really, right now. 1-4 at home since Game 2 of the NLCS, and Schwarber and Harper, I mean, they got to carry this team, and I know it's not all on them. I understand baseball. There's 9 guys in the lineup. It also revolves around the starting pitching and the bullpen and all that. But these are our big stars. Like, we always love to talk about in 2022, Bedlam at the bank, and Bryce Harper showed up. Man, he's the best. Well, now it's time to put your money where your mouth is because we haven't seen it in a couple years, and we need it tonight. This is a do-or-die game tonight.
You could be on my side or you could be on their side.
Choose wisely, Ray.
Well, I mean, or like, either you're going to be a plaintiff with me.
Either you're with me
Yeah.
or you're against
So
me.
this is good. This is good.
We're starting off with a bang.
Show versus management. Always going to be good to put me.
Well,
in
you got a
this
united
predicament.
front, to John's point.
Yeah. Believe me, I'm paying attention, especially early on. I'm paying attention.
Okay.
To your behavior.
My behavior.
I'm talking to Bill Colarulo in the back. I'm like, what you got coming up? And he was getting his clips for What Movie Wednesday, which is always a great time on Unfiltered. And he's like, we got Flyers home opener tickets, 4 pairs. Interesting, because last week I had Bryan Adams tickets. The new show, Middays with Marks, making its debut.
Yep.
We go like, oh man, we need good prizes.
Yeah.
I got Bryan Adams tickets. Oh, okay, all right, well, sounds good. Oh, hey, Bill. Oh, I got Flyers tickets. You know what else he said? Oh, we always have great prizes. Oh, you do? Oh, nice. Okay. All right, Ray, where do you stand on this? What's the problem?
I'm absolutely on your side, but I would like to welcome you into the inner workings of this place. Billy C, the TV star, he needs something.
Wow.
You know?
Well,
Everybody loves good old television. You're on NBC Sports Philadelphia. You control the television. You control the world around here.
But I'm fine with them getting good prizes, as they should.
Yeah.
But you should also get good prizes.
Well, how about 1 pair of tickets?
Yeah, 4 pairs of tickets.
Yeah.
Well, there's 4 hours. They do the 4 different
Well,
movies.
do you do 4 hours here, there, Raimundo?
I'm telling you, the way their game works, Amy.
Do you see what he's doing?
I do. He's already hedging. I don't like it.
You see what she just did to me? That was someone that heard me say, if you're on TV, you control everything. And the television star on our program.
I didn't say a single thing.
I see.
That's a
how it
wonderful
is.
program, NBC Sports Philadelphia. I love it.
You see what he's doing, Amy? He's trying to take away from our friendship. This is what Billy C's doing to us.
I don't need the reasoning. I need action from you. I need action. All right?
I've been trying to undermine him for 1.5 years at this point. It's not working.
that's true.
The reasoning is fine. Is the reasoning fine with Rob Thompson and Aaron Nola? Well, Matt Gelb didn't think so when he answered the question. But anyway, there it is. I don't even have it. It's already out there. All right.
Oh, it's
anyway.
already out?
Yeah, it's already not on the board.
Come on.
we had to rearrange some things because
Stop
the
it.
person that put it in the system.
Messed up.
Anyway.
okay.
All right.
It'll happen.
Before we get to the news and noon, I must tell you, you're listening to Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN and WPEN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. The 12 o'clock hour brought to you by Service First HVAC, offering 0% financing for 48 months, rebates and tax credits up to $4,300 when purchasing a heating and cooling system. Learn more, ServiceFirstHVAC.com. News at noon.
This city needs its news.
Now, it's time for
I'd like to be remembered as a good newsman.
the News at Noon
It's the coolest story I've ever heard in my entire life. That's insane.
with Ray Dunn.
So before you go, he was bragging about how that was Walter Cronkite, and he knew who Walter Cronkite was. And I asked him, all right, well, who's your second favorite nightly news, national news guy? He couldn't even name
David Muir, obviously.
Yes, current guy.
First of all, if you don't know Walter Cronkite and you're in journalism,
That's
I
how
would-
he knows him.
Whoa, that's.
But he couldn't give you a Tom Brokaw, a Peter Jennings, a Dan Rather. And I know
literally anyone.
he's 18 years old. So
Yeah, 20th century guys. I'm sure it was a great time. Tell me about it.
Listen, I knew you knew who Walter Cronkite was, but not Peter Jennings.
Peter Jennings?
Now that you say it, I know the
Tom
name.
Brokaw?
I can't tell you I've been like, you know what, I'm going to go back and study that news broadcast. I ended up in sports talk radio. Clearly, my journalism was a little bit off.
I'm questioning. I'm going to have to call Matt Fine and question some of the journalism classes there at Temple to not teach the history of it. Like we weren't
Seriously.
around to watch Walter Cronkite, but we know who he is.
See, the
That's what we
issue
do.
here is I didn't major in journalism.
Well, that
I
says
did
a lot.
media studies
there we
and
go.
production.
There we
All
go.
right,
There we
Mount
go.
Rushmore of local newscasters.
There you go. Name any of them.
Jim Gardner. There you go.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay with you
That's
just
fine.
naming Jim.
Yeah, I feel like that's there you go.
All
A
right.
standard. And by the way, the reason I knew Cronkite was because Arizona State. Like
Arizona
let's all
State.
call it.
Yeah,
Let's all call it what it is.
I mean, that's fair.
I'm gonna be honest.
That's
all
fair.
right.
As a good journalist is, honest, telling you the truth.
Well,
And
you're
I'm
not a
delivering
journalist.
You the truth
You
today.
just study media like tangentially.
Media studies of production.
Sure.
He
It was
does.
the easier of the majors.
And Ray does team coverage for News at Noon. So here he is.
All right,
Ray
let's
does.
start with LeBron James.
Oh.
Now, this was not in the News at Noon earlier this week because I didn't fall for it.
Me neither.
Some of you out there, Laker fans buying up tickets to the last game of the season, I'm not going to call you morons, but I'm going to insinuate that you're stupid because this guy has been attention seeking about this retirement thing for the last decade. And clearly he wasn't going to do it on just a random October, was it Tuesday yesterday? Yeah, he wasn't going to give that to you. But here it is. He teased the second decision. Here is the second decision.
LeBron, fans want to know where you're taking your talents this year. What's your decision?
In this fall, man, this is tough. In this fall, I'm going to be taking my talents to Hennessy VSOP.
I mean, like,
Give me a break.
who are the people that thought he was going to do that again?
Nobody. Like,
Well, someone must have. It was such a bad decision the first time.
right. Yeah, you think he was like really?
You think that he's that blind?
It would have been when
it
LeBron's
would've
going to
been
retire.
amazing.
Believe me, we're going to know LeBron's ready to retire. Wasn't that?
It will be an epic farewell tour.
I mean, honestly, I don't think he I think he plays at least 2 more years.
Agreed.
And I'm fine with that.
Me too.
The NBA's better with LeBron. Let him go somewhere else. I'm ready for him to lead the Lakers. Go,
Yeah,
go
I'm with
cherry
you there.
pick another team and see
Just
what you
do
can
whatever.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The league's better when LeBron's in.
For sure.
I just can't believe how many people fell for it.
They did.
Like,
But that's just
God.
come on.
Well, you know what it is? Dummy Laker fans.
Yeah, casuals.
Yeah, dummy Laker fans that just don't know any better.
All
Yeah,
right.
casual, sure.
Casuals.
Moving on. Legendary story here about Randy Moss. So former Patriots guard Rich Ornberger was on with Julian Edelman on Edelman's podcast talking about Randy Moss and his early interactions with him as rookie. Take a listen.
He'd be like, hey, what's up, coach? He called me coach. So Randy would call me coach. Everywhere, we'd be waiting in line. He's like, oh, yeah, coach. I know you're going to get on this pot roast because you look like pot roast, coach. And you big fat I bet you're going to have 2 pieces of pot roast. You know what? Have 3. I'm like, oh, my gosh. I'm in, man. Like, he gave me a nickname. Like, I'm telling people from back home, like, Randy Moss gave me a nickname. He really likes me.
That's what I'm telling you. It was so cool that he had a nickname. He was so funny. He had a nickname.
Yeah, like immediately. I was like, this is the best. Bill Belichick has all the rookies get in front of the room and say their name. And so I get up there. Randy Moss pulls me aside. He goes, you a player? He goes, you been a player this whole time?
I think he was in front of the whole team.
You gray hair. I thought you was a coach. He was like, you a player? Oh, hell no, Bill. Did we waste a draft pick on this mother? Are you kidding me? Was he going to go out there and break a hip?
Edelman tells great stories. He's a great storyteller. I've heard him tell a couple different ones, but any story involving Randy Moss to me is always gonna hit.
Yeah.
The story about the Halloween roller coaster one. Have you heard that? Where they were having a Halloween roller rink party. It was it's a great story. It's a great story. Randy Moss tells it. Bill Belichick was there. They got Bill Belichick to dress up as a pirate, and you literally have video of him skating around, and they're all. It's fabulous. It's a fabulous story.
Wow. So there's 2 people that get Bill Belichick to dress up: Jordan and Randy Moss.
There you go. I'll take Randy.
There you go.
Give me the ball.
Real quick with this. How do you backtrack to your friends from home? Like, you were like, me and Randy are boys. We're tight. He's got a nickname for me. And then you get pulled aside by Randy Moss, and he's like, you were a waste of a draft pick.
You say the nickname is still there, but the relationship is altered.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of different. We're in a different microscope now. We're looking at it a little differently.
That's funny.
All right. Last time, we're going to step out of sports for this one at the News at Noon.
I like that his nickname was Pot Roast, though.
Well, coach. He called him coach. He thought he was a coach.
He said you look like pot roast.
Oh, but he was saying when they were in line for for food. So he thought he was a coach because I guess he was gray-haired at 22.
Sure.
When he's 5'6", 5'7".
Yeah.
No.
We're going to step out of sports to wrap this one up.
All right.
I don't know if either of you are familiar with the rapper Logic. Either of you?
No.
No? I would imagine a lot of our audience isn't. And this isn't about Logic the rapper. This is about what he did. He stopped his concert when he saw a fan texting. We have the audio of him stopping the concert. Now, I want to know who's in the wrong when it comes to this.
Pause it. Hold up. Mother, are you on your phone texting as I am giving my all? Get this mother. Get this mother. Don't boo him. Don't boo him. Don't boo him. Don't boo him. Who you texting? Who you texting? Your lady. Okay, you all right. Okay. What did you say? He said, my bad. It's all good. It's your girl. Do you love her? Oh, okay. He loves her. All right. I feel that.
That's odd.
The oddest thing you could possibly do.
What?
Where were they? Like, where was the? What's the venue?
It's a smaller venue, but it's still got like an upper deck, so it's a big enough crowd. He's
Also,
not selling out arenas.
Why are you worried about some dude texting? Focus on you're giving your all. You're obviously not giving your all if you're looking out and you see it. Who knows what he could have been texting. Maybe she was having trouble finding her boyfriend coming back from the bathroom. So he texted her saying, I'm 7 rows up and 6 seats over.
Maybe he was just texting. Who cares?
That is so weird. That's a weird look.
Like, I'm all for living the moment, the concert, like the people that do the whole, like, I'm going to video the entire concert to post, like.
And then never look at it again?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's always very strange.
Or the one that has, like, 75 Instagram stories of every single song.
Every single song.
So you feel like you went to the concert with them.
Well, I appreciate it.
And it never sounds as good, by the way.
Of course it doesn't.
Not on your phone, also because you don't realize you're singing in the background. So I'm okay with the fact.
The texting, stopping a whole concert, and then he was like, don't boo him. I'm like, they might have been booing you.
Yeah, I agree.
They should
I would have been like, why are you stopping your concert that you said you were giving your all in to notice some gentleman on his phone?
Very odd. All right.
That's a weird vibe.
News at noon. Thank
That's
you,
good
Ray.
news at noon, though.
Yep. All right. Before we get back to the hot and heavy topics, because we have a
this is serious though.
We have a Phillies game that's coming up. You want to play it now? Or you want to do it on the other side there, Diggity Done?
Why not play it now?
Rally House. So what do you have first? You have does the mashup have the Philadelphia version?
Yeah, so it starts with the Philly version, and then it takes you through all of the other versions you could possibly get.
I had no idea that Rally House was anywhere but Philadelphia. Amy did not.
No.
All right, here it is.
Eagles, Sixers, Villanova, Penn State, Temple, Phillies, Flyers, don't be late. Rally House. Kansas, Missouri, Kansas State, Chiefs and Royals make KC great.
No.
Bears, Cubs, Bulls, and White Sox, Illinois, Notre Dame, and the Blackhawks.
Oh, that one actually kind of works.
Red Wings, Pistons, Spartans, Chippewas, everything Michigan.
That's good.
All right.
Blues, Missouri State, Tigers, Billikens, don't be late. Rally House.
Billikens.
Reds, Bengals, FC Cincy, the Ohio State Bearcats in Kentucky.
Oh, that's in Cincinnati.
Oh, Kentucky.
Yeah, that's in Cincinnati.
Cavaliers, the Browns and Buckeyes make us cheer.
No.
That's bad.
I mean, it's Cleveland. You're getting about the same level of the sports.
There was like 4 teams. Here we go. This is all you
A couple
got.
of those were good. I got a chuckle.
Chicago one, they rhyming something with Blackhawks. I thought was pretty clever.
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
So,
Michigan one was okay. The Cleveland one was bad. Cincinnati one. As soon as I saw, I was like, what was there with the Michigan one? They talked about the Chippewas, Central Michigan. That's impressive.
Chippewas in Michigan.
In Michigan, all things Michigan.
Working Chippewas in there seamlessly.
Yeah, that's the Cincinnati one was a little weak, but there's not a lot going on there. But you do like Cincinnati.
It's Cincinnati.
I mean,
Kentucky is more popular than probably half the teams there. So
it's charity work to just be in Cincinnati. Like the fact that
I know
they
that's
gave
your
them a
favorite
jingle.
town.
Yeah, they gave them a jingle. That's
I
charity
had beef
work.
with that texter that was talking earlier about he can let Kyle Schwarber go to Cincinnati. I have beef with that. No, thank you.
No.
Do not want.
Well, I mean, Dunn has been saying that he's been kind of on the train of Schwarber to Cincinnati. I can't imagine he's going. They're going to pay him that money. He's going to go there.
I just said yesterday, could you see the world in which he walks into that clubhouse after getting swept by the Dodgers and it's like,
no,
everybody's old.
No, you might be right. All right, coming up, back into the Phillies. More Phillies texts coming up. More Phillies phone calls, 610-632-0975. How are you feeling about tonight's game? And what's the biggest problem with the Phillies as they sit on the brink? We have a takeaway. Is this Kevin Millar or Kevin Pillar?
Pillar.
Who is that?
Played at baseball. I believe he's MLB Network.
Okay, MLB Network. Kevin Pillar.
Yeah, it is funny because there are two of them,
Yeah.
Millar and Pillar.
His takeaway on the
Named Kevin.
Phillies lineup and their struggles. Back into the Phillies after this. It is Middays with Marks.
Hey, everybody, it's Bill Colarulo, and coming up at
And it almost felt criminal that you give Saquon Barkley one carry in the second half. Like, that seems ridiculous. But then when I take a step back, and this is not me sticking up for Sirianni or Patullo, both of them need to be better. The rushing attack's not working.
Nope.
So it's like, okay, you could keep giving them the ball and keep giving them the ball, but when you're getting tackled for 1 and 2 yard gains, or sometimes tackled for loss, what do you want them to do? I think the main issue with this team, it's not Patullo, it's not Sirianni, it's not even Jalen, in my opinion. I think it's the offensive line. We talk about a lot that the Eagles are so good because they build along the trenches. And when you got dominated yesterday, go back and watch the game. They got dominated on both sides of the line of scrimmage. That's why you lost the football game.
There were a lot of penalties in that game. They're just not playing clean football. They're getting away from the details. That was a big buzzword that you heard in the locker room yesterday. You know, we got to get back to the details. We got away from the details. And for a team that prioritizes that, they've sort of lost their way a little bit. And I would also say this. They're not playing complimentary football. And to expect a defense that I thought and I think has been playing lights out throughout the season under some pretty challenging circumstances, to expect them to go out there and hold a team to 3 points for the entirety of the game when they played 74 snaps is unrealistic, and it's unfair to that group. I think that they played some pretty stout defense, but eventually that proverbial dam will break, and the offense was unable to hold up their end, and that's why they lost that game.
I've defended Bryce Harper a lot. I've defended Kyle Schwarber a lot.
But that's fair.
But
that's fair.
Yeah, but saying that they have been, great postseason performers, right? These guys, look at their numbers. Their OPS is some of the highest we've ever seen, and they're the best in franchise history and all that. But when you go back now and look at the last 10 games, right, in the postseason, the Phillies are 2-8 since Game 2 of the NLCS in 2023. 2-8, and they're 1-4 at home. Like, I love to talk about the postseason success of Harper and Schwarber, and I love to talk about Citizens Bank Park. Oh, man, what a tough place to play. Not the case, really, right now. 1-4 at home since Game 2 of the NLCS, and Schwarber and Harper, I mean, they got to carry this team, and I know it's not all on them. I understand baseball. There's 9 guys in the lineup.
All right, we're back. It is Middays with Marks, Amy Fadul. With us today, Harry Mays makes his return to the Fanatic tomorrow between 10 and 2. So Kevin Pillar actually played in the big leagues for 13 seasons, and he with the Blue Jays for really his biggest chunk was Blue Jays. He had 600 plate appearances multiple times. So, yeah, like a pretty good major leaguer. He's on foul territory right now, and maybe MLB Network. He had the following to say about the Phillies.
Hot take for you right now. I think we can make an argument that the Phillies lineup 1 to 9 is much better than the Blue Jays lineup and Brewers lineup. Would you agree? 1 through 9, more talented, more dangerous. I do believe it. I'm not there. This is just a hot take. I've never been in that clubhouse with Philly. I think those teams have a much better collective approach where I feel like the Phillies are so much more reliant on individual talent that they feel like at some point just the talent is going to take over and they're good enough to not really like have this pass the baton mentality or, hey, we're going to eliminate this pitch, we're going to wear them out. Because these two teams that don't hit a ton of home runs, that aren't filled 1 through 9 with high-octane offensive players are going out and scoring a ton of runs. I think there's also this way that you play in the regular season that definitely changes when you get into the postseason. And I think those two teams have an advantage right now because I think they've been playing postseason baseball for the entirety of the season.
Yeah, I don't know. Do the Phillies have a better lineup than the Blue Jays or the Brewers in theory or during the regular season? Yeah, okay, yeah, but that's not. Look at the lineups in the playoffs. Look at the Phillies lineup in the playoffs last year, and then the Diamondbacks games. It's not the same offense, so you can't say that's the Phillies offense. It's not. There's 11 games. Michael Barkan earlier had said this to us. 11 games. That's a large enough sample size in the playoffs. 11 playoff games
for your core guys, your big guys, your stars. Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner. Those were in the 100s. Bryce Harper, 200.
Let's go to Alan. Let's get a phone call in here. Alan from New Jersey. Alan, go ahead. I will not allow me to punch anybody up in here, Ray. Maybe it's in like a different mood. Alan, go ahead. How are you?
Thank you. Good afternoon. Gabby, by the way, is great.
Oh, great.
Amy's great. Ray Dunn's great. And you're great, Mr. Mark.
Oh, thank
you. Did you watch or listen last night to what happened up in the Bronx?
I mean, I saw you. Are you talking about Aaron Judge or the fans? Or
Yes, Aaron Judge and Stanton.
You realize that was his first one, right?
Well, first what?
He'd only had one extra base hit in the entire postseason.
Yeah.
Well, he's hitting before last night. He was still hitting 444, and he still can catch. Everybody's harping on, whatever. But last night, he literally 4 for 4. He hit a 3-run homer. They're down 6-1. But what I'm getting at is Stanton again does it every year in the playoffs. But guess who should be doing that tonight? Mr. Schwarber.
Let me check.
And Mr. Harper.
Well, that would be Game 3, just like it was for the Yankees, right?
Yeah, they literally 6-1 down 2 games to none. And that's what we need from Schwarber, because Schwarber and Harper haven't done it for 3 years, Amy. So if you want to say something about Aaron Judge.
Yeah, I mean, with all due respect, I don't. You're bringing this back to the Yankees, which it was a comment that was made earlier. I don't care. I don't care about the Yankees. Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber and Trey Turner. If the Phillies are going to win this series, because you could win the game tonight without those guys getting hits, without those guys having an impact.
You prefer
could.
not to.
Yeah, but I mean that's not how I would draw it up. But but you could. But if they're going to win anything in the playoffs, these guys have to be driving forces. They just do, and everybody knows that. And if the Yankees are going to win anything, Aaron Judge needs to carry them.
Look at the last 2 years. Aaron Judge last year in the postseason, 184. The year before, 139. I mean, it was almost historic. And so when people are talking about it, because I have friends that live in New York, they were talking about, like, when is he going to show up? He obviously has before. He's been in the postseason since, like, 2017 or something. It's just, there's no doubt. I'm not here to compare apples and apples or anything like that if you want to compare Aaron Judge to Kyle Schwarber. The bottom line is that the guys that you pay to show up here have to finish doing that. But I'm not here. Aaron Judge, he had a big hit. Good for him. Those guys you would hope in Game 3, just like we're talking about for the Phillies, would show up with their backs against the wall. That's what you're trying to do here. That's the correlation, not about like, well, Aaron Judge hit a home run. Okay.
Great.
He should. He's supposed to.
Right. He's a great player.
He's a great player. Yeah, he can catch the ball out there in the outfield. Perfect.
All right.
Great.
Here we go. We're got a 9 o'clock start tonight.
That's right.
Because when you get the 6, I love the early. I love the early starts during the regular season. The 6:40 starts.
6:40s,
yeah, I'm sure you do too when you're doing pregame.
Oh yeah. I love the West Coast.
It's a late one tonight, but I want to explore we hadn't really talked about the Castellanos angle to this and his comments on being the double-edged sword. Bryce Harper was asked about it yesterday. He gave his thoughts, but also the Castellanos faction, mom and wife, active on social media defending their guy. The whole thing is very interesting. We'll discuss it on the other side. 610-632-0975. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Will they get swept? I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies trail 2-0 in the NLDS to the Dodgers. They're out in L.A. for Game 3 tonight in this divisional series format. 90 teams have found themselves in this situation. Just 10 of them have found themselves advancing to the championship series of their respective leagues. The odds stacked against the Phillies, and they'll certainly be stacked against them if the starters don't start getting going. Here's Rob Thompson to talk about that lineup.
I think those guys are trying to do a little bit too much right now, instead of just being themselves and looking for base hits, and the power will come.
We'll see what they find tonight in Game 3. Aaron Nola getting the start for the Phillies. 9:08 first pitch out at Dodger Stadium. Phillies-Dodgers in Game 3. 1 day away from the Eagles and Giants matching up at the Meadowlands on Thursday night football. Saquon Barkley said yesterday he's sore but expects to play after popping up on the injury report earlier this week. We'll be joined by ESPN's Jordan Redound, who covers the Giants, coming up at 12:55 to break down the matchup. This update is brought to you by Dell Technologies. Your new Dell PC with Intel Core Ultra helps you handle a lot when your holiday to-dos get to be a lot. Get yours at Dell.com/deals. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the best birds coverage. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
I'm pointing the finger at Nick Sirianni because this right now, and this is much different than I felt 2 weeks ago or even after the A.J. Brown stuff. And with A.J. Brown, after he put the tweet out last week, I said, well, this doesn't have to be a big deal, but they got to fix things. It now feels like things are worse. This is Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni is not an offensive genius. Nick Sirianni was brought in for his leadership skills and to be the CEO head coach, or at least that's what he's developed into. And he's done a hell of a job. The offense looks pathetic. And there's obviously internal things that are going on because there's struggles offensively. And this is where Nick Sirianni needs to be Nick Sirianni and step in. If Turner, Schwarber, and Harper look like this, they may get swept, Todd.
Yes. I think Matt Gelb put out a tweet today, like Phillies are like 1-6 in the last 7 postseason games, and he put all the runs scored over the last 7 postseason games. And I think most of the games are 1s and 2s. There was like 1-3 in there, and then 1 7-run game. They won the 7-run game. And so, yeah, you have the big boys at the top, and I've been saying this since the beginning of the season. Did they do enough? There's a lot of like hand wringing earlier in the season about Stott and Marsh and Alec Boehm and should Justin Crawford come up and Aiden Miller and all this stuff, right? And in the end, it was like, well, the big guys have to produce, and for most of the season they did. I mean, Turner, is going to get some MVP votes. Schwarber could finish second for MVP. Harper, by his standards, did not have a Bryce Harper type season, but he's still a very feared hitter, of course. And so 1 for 11, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. It's got to be much better. That they need to start scoring some runs because you can't have the bullpen every single game.
Nope.
Just like have to pitch to perfection to try to win a game.
Well, what is up, Zozone? Where do we start? All right, I would say the big story, at least according to the fans, is Rob Thompson's decision with David Robertson in the bullpen. What are your opinions on what he did?
Yeah, so I've written about this. I've talked about it a lot, and I always feel like there's a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking. You know, I've learned a couple things in baseball is that anytime a manager, and my first manager I ever covered was Larry Boa, then it was Charlie Manuel, then it went Ryan Sandberg, Pete McKinnon, Gabe Kapler, Joe Girardi, Rob Thompson. Every single one, when they've made a pitching change and it didn't work, it was because the manager was an idiot. You know, sometimes the moves work, sometimes they don't work. Now, that doesn't mean that the manager is not open to criticism. He absolutely is. But in that situation, to be perfectly honest, I did not, when David Robertson started that seventh inning, I did not go, what the hell is going on here? Why is he doing this? For me. And I didn't say that because David Robertson is paid to do that job. He was facing the 8 and 9 hole hitters. Will Smith is a great player, but he's banged up. And so I'm sitting there going, okay, you have the right-handed setup guy who only threw 6 pitches the previous inning, and he's facing the 8 and 9 hole hitters. He should be able to get those guys out. Instead, he gave up a single and hit a guy in a breaking ball.
I mean, I love playing at the bank. I love our fans. I boo myself when I get out. I'm the same way. So I entrust in what they do. They show up for us every day, day in and day out. So if we deserve to be booed or if we deserve to, you know, they spend their hard-earned dollar to come watch us play, they expect greatness out of us. I expect greatness out of myself and my teammates as well. So if they believe that, then I don't know what's going through their head or their mindset. We got some of the best fans in baseball, and I don't know. They make me play better, so I enjoy it.
Yeah, that was Bryce Harper yesterday asked about the Nick Castellanos situation. We are back. And Middays with Marks. That's Amy Fadul, Ray Dunn in the house. And all this is being asked because of Nick Castellanos and his comments after the loss. And, I mean, really, I remember when they first signed Nick Castellanos, I was going down the spring training, and do you remember his introductory press conference, Nick Castellanos? And it was like, wow, this dude's different. And the Phillies said to me, they said,
Bristly,
are you sure that you want Castellanos on the air? And I'm like, I'm okay if we don't have him. You can give me somebody else, right? So, like, I really like Nick. I think Nick's a good dude. He's a great dad. We like the whole Liam situation. And Nick's had some big hits here. He's been a productive player. In clubhouses, you need different personalities
Absolutely.
and everything else. Not everybody can be the same thing. And I think for the most part, Nick was that guy. It feels like this is the end because of the relationship with Rob Thompson, and he hasn't taken to being a platoon player at this point very well. But anyway, so he comes out after the game and he says that, you know, like the wind is, you know, with the winds against us, it's great. I.e., when things are going well, the fans are cheering for us. But when things aren't going well, the wind's in our face. The double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Right. And, like, you can have the honest conversation, is he right? I did my buddies do radio in San Diego, the morning show out there in San Diego, and one of the things they asked me about was, like, well, how are his comments playing? And I said, well, that's a rhetorical question, right?
Yeah.
How his comments are playing. Like, but is there any truth to it? I mean, I don't know. We can be toxic here, certainly, as sports fans, talk radio, what you do on TV and everything else, Twitter and whatever else. But I don't feel like that we're particularly toxic right now towards the Phillies.
I don't think it's toxic so much as it's reactionary, right? I mean, Bryce Harper said it. If we don't, if I'm going to boo myself. Trey Turner's talking about how his mom has booed him before. Like, I mean, it's just one of those things. If you don't, the worst thing that can happen is apathy. And I think about some of the other places that athletes have played, and then they come here, and you have to kind of, and that's one of the things. You can talk to any athlete, and they always try to find out what it's like to play here. VJ Edgecombe's like I called Buddy Hield, who he's like very good friends with. You know, grew up near each other. What is it like playing in Philadelphia? It's like nothing you've ever seen. That's true, because if you don't boo, you don't care. And I understand there's people, and I was sitting around there with people, and people are like, don't boo this team. They're coming back. That may be. You if you want to boo because that makes you feel better, but it is a double-edged sword, but it doesn't mean that it's not one that you aren't aware of. Like, do you really perform poorly because someone booed you? Does it have that much effect on you? Because now you've really put it in their heads. I don't know that that's true. I think only Nick Castellanos or any other athlete because Ben Simmons has talked about it before. There's other athletes that have talked about like the booing and how maybe it can affect them. That's maybe something that you need to think about.
When you sign players, you have to realize they're not playing in Florida, they're playing in Philadelphia.
You're not playing in Cincinnati.
Nope.
The level of apathy, that's the thing. Like I'm not a booer per se. I have booed people. I've never like openly been like, I don't like that particular player that's wearing a uniform that I like. You know what I mean? Like Phillies, Flyers, Sixers.
Right.
I've never done that. But I've certainly, I'm not going to tell someone they can't boo. I just don't know how you can come here and think like, oh, well, yeah, it's a double-edged sword and that's like a really bad thing. No, apathy is a bad thing.
Yeah.
Not caring is a bad thing. You want people invested in you. Bryce Harper said it. I'm invested in myself and my teammates. I expect more. So you get booed. So what?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like
I don't think that he looked at it. I don't think Castellanos looked at it as like, I didn't perform well because of that. But I think there is some merit in it. It is a double-edged sword. I just don't know that one of the edges is detrimental to your team because you booed.
And also, after you leave Philadelphia when you're traded, if you want to talk about that, talk about that.
Sure.
After losing game 2
of basically a must-win game.
Right. Both games at home.
Gotta win one.
And you come out and you say that because then his wife's on Twitter. His mom is going back and is tweeting at Bill Colarulo and his comments because we put the videos out. John Kincade was also being tweeted at by his wife and his mom. So, and that's the other thing is that they're trying to stand up for their son or their husband. Log off. It's not necessary. Guess what, Jess Castellanos?
You're not going to win.
If you're looking for something negative about your husband, you're going to find something negative about your husband. And Nick has taken a lot of crap in this town, and maybe some of it's justified and some of it's not. Regardless, when you're making a lot of money and you play, when you play in Philadelphia, when you come up small, you're going to hear it. Ryan Howard, who is one of the best baseball players to play in this town, who was putting up Babe Ruth numbers, who was a champion, when he got a little bit older, and he would strike out with 2 runners on base, when he would ground into an inning-ending double play. I don't think fans hated Ryan Howard. They're reacting to, here it is again.
Situation.
Runners on third base. Ryan Howard strikes out again. It's another
Jimmy
loss.
Rollins when he wouldn't run first base. Jimmy Rollins.
Think
about that. Like there was a time where you would boo the core of the 2008 World Championship team. So when people, to your point, when people like think about like, oh, Philadelphia is so tough. Listen, there's no one's immune here. We will boo anybody and everybody if they want to.
Jimmy opened its mouth and he would talk. Chase didn't. Chase
Correct.
didn't get anything. Bryce Harper doesn't say anything bad about the fans. You heard what he said right there. Castellanos now on a couple different occasions had said something. What Nick Castellanos is saying isn't false. You don't say it after you just
the
lost
timing
the,
of
yeah,
it.
like come on.
It's the timing of it.
I feel like I'm crazy when people are talking about this. Of course fans are going to be upset. Amy, I'm just telling you, you were at the game. You had the perspective of being at the game. I'm watching from home. It did not come off as being super duper toxic, like, oh my God.
No, it was disappointments.
They're over the top and booing right now.
It was
This is
disappointments.
ridiculous. Last year happened, the year before happened.
And that's the thing. This is a carryover. This is more of the same. The expectations are do not do what you've done before because we've already seen it in the NLCS and then last year in the NLDS. And when people are watching it with their own eyeballs after they paid a lot of money to sit in those stands,
the other thing.
I was talking to somebody that paid $900 and he wasn't sitting near me. He was sitting above me. And I was like, good. I'm glad you're here, sir. But that's the thing. So when Nick Castellanos says it's a double-edged sword, it is. That is true. It's hard to say that after you just lost a game that you had to win.
Yeah, just not necessary. And if you're going to go on Twitter and argue with people on Twitter, and like
that regardless of the situation right now, that's just never a winning recipe. You're not going to win. There's no benefit to it. If you sit there and go down and you feed people into the negativity that's already out there, you're only going to get negativity results. No one's going to change their mind. No one's going to see a tweet from someone else and be like, you know what? That's a really good point. You're right. I will. I'm changing my. That's never happened in the history of social media. It's never happened, and it's not going to happen.
Never will.
Yeah, that's why. So social media is toxic because it's one-sided and you can't, define tone and whatever else. But the booing, again, it was loud, but it wasn't like they weren't raining down things. It was like, oh, this again. It was really it was a collective like, no, we can't see it again. Can we?
No,
that's exactly what it felt like.
Like, just keep it simple. You're at the game. This again. Last year happened. the year before happened.
exactly
This
what
is
it was.
supposed to be different this year. This is one of our last chances. The window's closing, and we're doing it again. All my fears that I had, and like you had said, I was at the World Series game that they got no hit, and I knew when I could have sold those tickets for like profit over $3,000 a ticket because they were good tickets, which I wasn't going to do.
Because you were going to go.
But you're sitting there and you're like, I can't believe I'm actually at this game and this is what I'm watching.
Pay for money.
And I'm not a booer either. I boo results. I don't boo players. But remember when the Eagles, they won the Super Bowl, it's banner night, and they had a terrible first half against Atlanta.
Yes.
And they got like
at halftime.
At halftime, it sounded like they were booing a team that was 1-5 to start the season. And Malcolm Jenkins took it for. I remember Malcolm Jenkins talking about it. I think I might have had him on as a weekly guest, and he was just like, "That's the way it is.
Yeah.
Like we played poorly, they were going to let us know." So like that was a little bit over the top as they just hung the banner, but still, it didn't feel weird for them to get booed based on the way
and
they
the
played.
players didn't think like,
They didn't.
This is it. I mean, and you talk about players who you mentioned who've left here. They talk about it now in more of a reverence. Like there is the expectation of there because there is no apathy. These fans are locked in. You can't go anywhere in this town during whatever season and not have someone ask you about whatever team that's playing. It's always going to happen. It's what makes it a great sports town. So when players leave, then they've discovered that not everybody's like this and not every town is like this. And there's people that literally are sitting there in Charlotte, North Carolina and don't care what their team is doing. It's bizarre to them.
Yep. Ray, I don't think you could get any more than first Super Bowl in franchise history. Hanging the banner.
That's the most like Philadelphia thing.
It really is. It's so Philadelphia-ish. Of
course it is.
But the players that get it. And they
lean into it.
They lean into it. They're like, you know what? We're not going to be able to just say everything's fine because we won a Super Bowl. These fans are not happy. It's the most Philadelphia-ish thing. You're so right, Amy.
I love
we
it.
could do.
You've got expectations. Like, that's what this is. That's also part of the difference between 22, 23, the energy in the crowd, at 24 and 25. That crowd's been let down now multiple times in similar fashions. They're going to react the way they react. It's the dumbest thing he could have said. And the only logic I could put to it is, well, I'm not going to be here in a couple months anyways. So let me give you my true feelings.
Right. Well, before the series, he said it's already a success, regardless of what happens in the series.
He's reminiscing.
It's
over for him.
Because his career here in Philadelphia.
He
That's
knows.
what he-
He knows.
Yeah, it's even if we don't win, it's been a success. Okay, well, sure. I know you look at that. You're entering a series.
We
You
still
can't
got
say
stuff
that.
to go, dude.
Also, of him to be of all the guys on that team to give us it's been a success over the last 4 years.
Nick Castellanos. Yeah, his wife says, I can't believe how many people are adding me and try to fight with me when I'm just on here supporting my family and my team. Heaven forbid I use Twitter like the rest of you guys do. But you're not like the rest of these people. That's what you have to understand. You're the spouse of a player. And you're going to go back and forth. And his
also,
mom's doing it too. It's amazing.
I appreciate the fact that you feel the need to stand up for him. But I don't think that Nick Castellanos is sitting there. He said what he said. If he wants to back it up or backtrack it or do whatever, that's on him. I appreciate that. But again, there is no positive that will ever come of it. You cannot feed negativity with negativity and think, yep, now that's two negatives. What is it, two wrongs make a right?
Him and his family's read on the situation is like his read out there in the outfield. Off base, eventually he'll get to the right place, but he's never going to be right off the jump.
That's a good point.
And like his read going to third
situation.
on that bunt, honestly.
Yep.
Just doesn't read situations well.
There's
On and off
nothing
the
to
field.
gain. There's nothing to gain by it. Uncle Jamie on the text line says, go play for the Marlins if you don't want to get booed.
They're talking about level of
Actually,
apathy.
He probably will, actually. It's one of the places he could go if the Phillies eat some of his salary. All right. I promise a Phillies phone call or two next, but also Jordan Renan of ESPN, Giants reporter. We do have a football game tomorrow night.
Well, a big one.
Could be at the
It's
same
always
time
the
as
next
the Phillies.
Phillies might be, well, it depends on the Cubs-Brewers series tonight.
So it
6
could be a
o'clock.
little bit before.
It could be 6 o'clock, yeah.
Which would be nice.
We'll see.
All right, Brian Daboll.
Nice early game.
Is Brian Daboll messing with us?
Was Brian Daboll still employed?
For now.
Is Joe Shane still employed?
For now.
Truly remarkable. Well done, Giants.
Is he playing mind games with us ahead of the game? We'll find out. Coming up next, it is Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now, a Fanatic Phillies playoff update on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
The update is there might not be many more of these updates if they don't figure it out. I'm Ray Dunn with your Phillies playoff update that's brought to you by Corona. Go ahead and turn any game into your own beach oasis with an ice cold Corona this red October. Corona, the official cerveza of Major League Baseball. Drink responsibly. Yeah, we might not have many more of these playoff updates if the Phillies don't figure it out. They're up against the brink of elimination, down 2-0 in the National League Divisional Series to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now out there in Dodger Stadium for Game 3 tonight at 9:08, and who's on the mound?
It'll be Aaron Nola with Ranger behind him.
What's the reasoning behind that?
Nola's never pitched out of the pen, so how long he goes, I don't know, and I trust him.
Now, it might not matter what Nola does on the mound if the Stars don't show up again for this game. The top of your lineup, Turner, Schwarber, Harper, 2 for 21 so far in the 2 games of this series. The Phillies just mustering up 3 runs in both of those first games. So we'll see what happens out there. Nola will get you the start. At some point, Ranger Suarez expected to come out of the bullpen to relieve him against the Dodgers lineup that, albeit the starts haven't really shown up for them, has scratched across enough to put the Phillies in a 2-game deficit tonight. 9:08 the start time for that Game 3 out in Los Angeles. You can go to Kavanaugh's Rittenhouse for the watch party with Andrew and Connor. I'll also be there to watch the Phillies try to save their season. I'm Ray Dunn on your home of the MLB playoffs, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
And it almost felt criminal that you give Saquon Barkley 1 carry in the second half. Like, that seems ridiculous. But then when I take a step back, and this is not me sticking up for Sirianni or Patullo, both of them need to be better. The rushing attack's not working. Nope. So it's like, okay, you could keep giving them the ball and keep giving them the ball, but when you're getting tackled for 1 and 2 yard gains, or sometimes tackled for loss, what do you want them to do? I think the main issue with this team, it's not Patullo, it's not Sirianni, it's not even Jalen, in my opinion. I think it's the offensive line. We talk about a lot that the Eagles are so good because they build along the trenches. And when you got dominated yesterday, go back and watch the game. They got dominated on both sides of the line of scrimmage. That's why you lost the football game.
There were a lot of penalties in that game. They're just not playing clean football. They're getting away from the details. That was a big buzzword that you heard in the locker room yesterday. You know, we got to get back to the details. We got away from the details. And for a team that prioritizes that, they've sort of lost their way a little bit. And I would also say this. They're not playing complimentary football. And to expect a defense that I thought and I think has been playing lights out throughout the season under some pretty challenging circumstances, to expect them to go out there and hold a team to 3 points for the entirety of the game when they played 74 snaps is unrealistic. And it's unfair to that group. I think that they played some pretty stout defense, but eventually that proverbial dam will break, and the offense was unable to hold up their end, and that's why they lost that game.
I've defended Bryce Harper a lot. I've defended Kyle Schwarber a lot.
But that's fair.
But
that's fair.
Yeah, but saying that they have been, great postseason performers, right? These guys, look at their numbers. Their OPS is some of the highest we've ever seen, and they're the best in franchise history and all that. But when you go back now and look at the last 10 games, right, in the postseason, the Phillies are 2-8 since Game 2 of the NLCS in 2023. 2-8, and they're 1-4 at home. Like, I love to talk about the postseason success of Harper and Schwarber, and I love to talk about Citizens Bank Park. Oh, man, what a tough place to play. Not the case, really, right now. 1-4 at home since Game 2 of the NLCS, and Schwarber and Harper, I mean, they got to carry this team, and I know it's not all on them. I understand baseball. There's 9 guys in the lineup. It also revolves around the starting pitching and the bullpen and all that. But these are our big stars. Like, we always love to talk about in 2022, Bedlam at the bank, and Bryce Harper showed up. Man, he's the best. Well, now it's time to put your money where your mouth is because we haven't seen it in a couple years, and we need it tonight. This is a...
I think whatever they want to do or think they need to do, that's what they'll do. You have to watch the tape. AJ's open a lot. But you give it to Saquon, he's got productive yards. You run his own read or throw it to Smitty, there's another thing. There's a lot of weapons, I would say, on that offense.
That was Brian Daboll, Giants head coach. A lot of people had that reaction to be like, oh, AJ's open a lot.
How much is a lot, Brian?
You're saying that because you think that you're going to mess with us and mess with their heads. Oh, he's open a lot.
We already know he's open.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. I don't. Something tells me he's not paying close enough attention to what's
open?
going on
Slant route.
What's going on in the media.
But I like that he's like trying to do like a little bit of like kind of get in their heads a little bit, like, oh, he's open, yeah. So like, don't maybe make him. So, who knows? That guy's just trying to save his job.
Yeah, I think he's worried about keeping his job week by week at this point.
I mean,
right.
I don't know what they're doing.
And they just lost it as a bad loss to the Saints too.
The Saints, the previous winless Saints. So that's a bad one.
Yeah, it's probably a good time to have the Phillies in a playoff run to where we're not 100% focused on
It's like
Jalen, AJ. Yeah, we get to complain about both.
We got our
things.
going on it, but we're kind of like right here, but we're still looking over.
Now, lose to the Giants, it may not matter what happens to the Phillies. we're gonna be angry,
so angry, so angry.
Any worry about the game?
No, I mean, there's not. I shouldn't say any worry. There's not an overriding worry for me. This is a pretty bad Giants team. Jackson Dart, the Eagles traditionally do quite well against quarterbacks that are making, their first starts. This guy, his third career start right here. Yep. The thing is, I like Jackson Dart at Ole Miss. I think that he, could be a viable quarterback at some point. My whole thought at the beginning of the season, if I was a Giants fan, like, why in the world aren't you going to Jackson Dart right away? I get that he's not going to be very good, but you know what? The season is not going to be saved by Russell Wilson. So that was very strange to me that they made that move later. But
very strange.
No, that Giants team is there's really nothing. We thought the defense was kind of okay when you watch that Cowboys game, and then or before the Cowboys game, I should say, and then you watch the Cowboys game. You've watched every game since, and you realize that's not even a good defense. Thought about it was going to be a good defense, and it's not. The offense is absolutely there's not. What word would I use for their offense?
Inexperienced, lame.
Yeah, lame. There you go.
Yeah.
There's just nothing to it. It's just unremarkable in many, many ways. And
unremarkable is a good one.
Yeah, there's just nothing. There's nothing remarkable about that entire team. There's nothing you say like, well, that they can take away from this. And defense was going to be something they could at least hang their hat on. They thought we could be hanging
Pass
games.
rush.
That's not even there.
Well, let's not hope this is the game that the pass rush gets going.
It's supposed to be a get-right game for the Eagles. I don't want it to be a get-right game for anything on the Giants. So I don't have any overall worry.
Getting the win, obviously, is paramount. But you also would
some stuff kind
you'd like to see the style point thing.
Something looks good.
Style points for me matter some of the times, right? Like, ultimately, you want to get the win. But I really feel like the team, not even the fans, I think the team could use all right,
we got to remember who we are.
We beat that. We just crushed them. That's what we should do.
Beat the pants off them. Let's make it look good. Let's let Saquon Barkley run roughshod, 100 yards. Why not?
A Barkley 100-yard game would be excellent.
Give a little boost. Give these guys a little reminder about who they are.
He's banged up too, Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, he is. He's listed as questionable.
Awesome. So he's banged up. The offensive line's banged up. The defense has been for the most part okay. Yeah, so, Ray, are you scared of this game, too?
No, I'm not worried about this game. I mean, it's a short week, so I think, honestly, the idea that there might be style points in this one I think that's a little much to ask. I think they're just going to get a victory and move on to the next. we'll be complaining about a win on Friday.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's too much to ask.
You don't think there's going to be any style points, nothing to redeem?
What do you mean?
This is an offense that hasn't looked good for 5 weeks.
I think that
in 4 days, I don't know if they're going to fix it. They're spending more time right now trying to figure out if the quarterback and the wide receiver like each other.
Yeah, I just want them to bury him.
But to your point, you're just not expecting to see the style points.
Right.
And that's, but like, we're at a point in the season where you're the defending Super Bowl champion with a ton of talent on this team. Like, let's figure it out. Hey, Nick Sirianni, all right? You won the Super Bowl. I'm very impressed with your leadership style and everything that's going on right now.
Hell yeah.
You decided to hire Kevin Patullo as the offensive coordinator. And Howie Roseman said, okay, you won the Super Bowl. These are some of the things that you get to do. You get
I'm
to
the
hire.
smartest coach in the world.
You hired another inexperienced offensive coordinator. It happened with Brian Johnson, and it didn't work out. So we're struggling. You got to now roll up your sleeves and figure this out. I'm not blaming Patullo anymore. I'm not blaming Rob Thompson. I can't go cross sports and blame Rob Thompson for this. Nick Sirianni's got to figure this out. It is not too much to ask to actually have your offense look like a good offense.
This is not like you're asking them to do something that's out of the realm of possibility, right? You have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Saquon Barkley, and Jalen Hurts, who just put on a Super Bowl MVP-type performance. 2 years ago, he was in the MVP conversation. 3 years ago, he was in the MVP conversation until the very end. Look, what are we doing? How is this? And I know all offseason we talked to ourselves, this is not like Brian Johnson because Kevin Patullo, he goes back with Sirianni to like his Indiana days. Yep. These guys in Indianapolis, they know each other. It's not the same thing. And yet here we are.
Feels like the same thing.
It feels a little like the same thing.
It does. I wasn't there. I wasn't there till after last week.
Yeah.
I was.
You were still waiting to think like, oh, certainly they're going to like get on the same page because you saw glimpses, and then last week I don't even think you saw any glimpse.
No, because you also if you go back and you look at Kellen Moore, there were a lot of the same questions with Kellen Moore after the first 4 games, and then they turned it around. All right, Jordan Renan, ESPN joins us next, and we'll discuss all that with Brian Daboll and where the Giants are right now and his view. Jordan was here; he covered the Eagles for a while, so his thoughts on what's going on with the Eagles. That's coming up next. Jordan Renan from ESPN. Don't go anywhere.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Well, they get swept. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies trail 2 games to none in the NLDS out in L.A. for Game 3 tonight against the Dodgers. In this divisional series format, the numbers do not favor the team that falls down 0-2. No kidding on that one. The Phillies are going to try and flip the script on what has been a very, very tough situation for most teams throughout the history of this format. To do that, they're going to need their stars to produce. Rob Thompson talked about the guys at the top of the lineup.
I think those guys are trying to do a little bit too much right now, instead of just being themselves and looking for base hits, and the power will come.
Whether or not they get the power there might come down to the starter in this one. A surprise for us, Aaron Nola starting Game 3 tonight. 9:08, Dodger Stadium, Phillies, Dodgers. Season on the line for the Phils. 1 day away from Eagles-Giants matching up at the Meadowlands on Thursday Night Football. Saquon Barkley said yesterday he's sore, but he expects to play. We'll be joined by Jordan Renan of ESPN coming up in the next segment to break down the matchup here between the Birds and the Giants. This update is brought to you by Audible. Stuck in traffic? Audible's romance collection will have you falling fast in the slow lane. Satisfy every side of you with rom-coms, romantasy, and the really steamy stuff. Listen free with a 30-day trial at audible.com. I'm Ray Donner, your home for the best Birds coverage. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Well, the Philadelphia Phillies season is pretty much over. They're basically dead. They're not going to win 3 straight games in this series. And I said after Game 1, the reason they lost Game 1 was the manager's fault. And you know what? You could probably blame him for Game 2 as well. But the reason they're going to lose this series is because the top 3 guys in the lineup, Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, have gone a combined 2 for 21. That's unacceptable. That's not going to get the job done. It's on them as much as anybody else why the Phillies are going to get knocked out.
The fans last night were incredibly supportive.
Yep.
Yes, they booed the lousy at-bats by Trey Turner when he had them. The lousy at-bats. Even Kyle Schwarber took a little heat last night. You took heat on one of your at-bats where you were flailing at it like you couldn't swing a boat paddle. But they were supportive. They were loud. They were backing you when you were down 4-1. They were standing. They were making noise. So that is totally garbage to start pointing fingers at the fans and making it as if the fans are causing part of the problem here. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, because Donnie, the trend continues, right? You lose the World Series, you lose the NLCS, you lose the Division Series. So some might think, well, they just won't make the playoffs. They made the playoffs.
No, they want to take a step back.
But instead of losing in 4, they might lose in 3, Johnny.
Good morning to you, too.
Oh, no, it's not a good morning.
No, it is.
Morning.
It is. I don't do the after. I can't do the walk around and mope and growl at people and stuff like that.
Well, I'm not growling at anybody, but it's not a good morning.
You don't. You don't do that. But a lot of people do.
Sure.
Some of them work in this building. I just look at it as they are who we thought they were, and I'm ashamed that I drank some of the Kool-Aid on some of the stuff, but the manager is just my prevailing thought this morning, is that Rob Thompson is exactly who I've always thought he was.
It's not just Rob Thompson.
Well, I understand, but he is an excellent leader of men as far as just to create an atmosphere where people like coming to work. But he is also a horrible strategist, and I've said it from the time he was hired. He's a horrible strategist. He's cost them numerous times in his managerial career. And last night is the absolute exclamation point on it. He's a ridiculously poor chess player, and I can't take it anymore.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't. I can't take it anymore.
Guys, if I'm going to say, when they lose the series, did not feel good about it going into the series. Our official predictions on the whiteboard. And with Marks on 97.5, the Fanatic. Amy Fadol on the program today.
Yes, sir.
Harry Mays will be the co-host tomorrow, and then a special co-host on Friday.
Yes.
We will announce that tomorrow.
I'll be listening.
Ray Dunn doesn't know.
Why would
No
he?
idea.
He has no idea.
Why would he?
Nobody keeps me in the loop.
Well,
They don't need to know.
So we
Apparently.
did that. We did the joke yesterday, and then
People
the
are like-
program director called you.
Yes. Yes. So
He actually does know who's going to be. We're making it up.
It's more fun this way.
All right, is Jordan Renan on the line?
Yes, sir.
Man, Jordan here was at the Fanatic. He was a contributor briefly before he became a big star and joined ESPN. Now he's the Giants reporter for ESPN and ESPN.com, and he joins us right now. Jordan, how are you, buddy?
Stop it, guys. I mean, this is like my generation of Philadelphia radio coming here.
What's up, man?
Not much. What's going on?
Well,
how's everything over there?
we-
Huh? Welcome back,
yeah,
John.
yeah. It's
Love
all
it.
gravy. It's all
Thank
gravy.
you. Yeah,
Jordan, you know
everything's
that.
great. The Phillies have lost the first
No
two
big
games
deal.
at home, and the Eagles are
Look
internally
away.
fighting. Yeah, the Eagles are fighting internally already. Things are great. Everything's fine.
Have you guys seen the Giants
Yeah. Well played, Jordan. Well played.
for the last decade?
Right.
By the way,
Yeah. So how many years have you been with ESPN with the Giants?
I've been at ESPN since 2016. So then I've been covering the Giants. I moved midway through the first year of Chip Kelly. So it's at 2013. So this is like season 13. And by the way, they've had 2 winning seasons, one playoff.
That's what I was going to ask
We're
you.
not saying it's you.
Because they have the Super Bowls, but there hasn't. So 7 and then 11 they won the Super Bowls. But like you had said, there's not really a lot of success
No.
otherwise.
No.
So how I Daboll keeps his job, and it's like, okay, I guess they wanted to give him one more year, but then they bring in Russell Wilson, and then they draft Jackson Dart, and then they had Jameis Winston. The whole quarterback thing just seemed odd to me from the start. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, well, you have to remember, okay, Russell Wilson wasn't their first choice. They first tried to get Matthew Stafford, which didn't make any sense either. Then they wanted to trade for Cam Ward. Then they went after Aaron Rodgers, which is another one. You're like, okay, they're obviously out there. That's like I'm trying to save my job by winning some temporary, games in the meantime as much as humanly possible while I'm drafting a quarterback. And then they end up with Jackson Dart and Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. So this was clearly not their first option. But they're also trying to juggle two different agendas, right? Build for the future, get the future franchise quarterback, which they did in Jackson Dart. They hope. They hope he's the guy. Seen some positive things, 2 starts so far. Still needs to be significantly better as a pocket passer, but you could see he has a lot of those. Like he actually looks up to Jalen Hurts as a winner, a guy like he loves the way he plays and leads. Like you see a lot of those kind of qualities in Jackson Dart. But at the same time, as they tried to win some games, they said, what, our best chance to win some games is with a veteran quarterback. There wasn't a lot out there, and that's how they end up with Russell Wilson. But you're right. It's a super awkward position to be in, and it's set up by the position that ownership put them in, right? Because they had to win games because they're under pressure. They need to do something because they went 3-14 last year. Let me say that again. 3-14, John. Right? You can't follow that up with like, oh, hey, we won 4 games, but, Jackson Dart looks like he's going to be a good player.
Right. Yeah, and that's Jordan Renan of ESPN. You're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN, and WPEN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. Yeah, so the GM and the coach are trying to save their job, and the organization wants development, but they also want wins. So it is a weird situation. What are your thoughts on Dart and what you've seen so far? That was a bad loss to the Saints, but he did look good in that first start. But overall, what do you think of the kid?
He looks like he has something. Like there's something about him that he has that. The Giants like to say the word aura to him, right? He has that like it factor, like where he's just going to be able to make plays, and so you could see why people like him and they like him behind the scenes and the way he works and all that kind of stuff. But the product, as a passer, he's raw. It's going to have to get better. He hasn't done a ton out of the pocket. He is barely over 300 yards passing in 2 games. But, there's enough to make you think that he could be a guy moving forward.
Yeah, you mentioned that he has talked positively about Jalen Hurts, and I think that there is something to that because from the outside, and you hear it, I know you guys hear it up there, Jalen Hurts isn't the man. He's not that good. He's an average quarterback. He's not top 10, whatever the whole rhetoric is. But I think in certain circles, and certainly NFL and other football circles, Jalen Hurts is looked to as a winner, a guy that if you're looking for somebody to win you a game, Jalen Hurts is going to be one of those players. Do you see any parallels between what Jackson Dart can do and what Jalen Hurts has done, though?
To a degree. He didn't, win a national championship. I know there was a lot to that. By the way, he got benched in that game, Jalen Hurts.
Correct.
And,
Some might say he didn't.
Coordinator was in that game. It happened to be Brian Dable. But yeah, he won in college. He has that. So Joe Judge is actually essentially the quarterback coach at Ole Miss. He told me leading up to the draft, he's like, everyone's going to he's going to start as a second, third round pick. People are going to meet him, learn what he's all about. By the time they're done with it, they're going to fall in love with him as a person, the way he acts, the way he handles himself, the way he operates. And these are right in the Jalen Hurts playbook, right? This is exactly what makes Jalen Hurts special, right? He doesn't blow you away with anything except for that, that the way he operates and the way he handles himself. And then Judge said, by the time they're done with him, he's going to end up at late first-round pick. And what happened? He was a late first-round pick. So I do see the parallels there, coming from the SEC, playing tough competition, doing well and succeeding. He didn't win a national championship, but he's at Ole Miss, and he was pretty successful there. So I do see a lot of parallels there. And, people respect Jalen Hurts around the league. When you win games, people respect you. And the Giants locker room is very much like that. When I talk to them, they're like, yeah, he's just a good player. He knows how to win games. He knows what needs to be done in order to win. And there's a skill to that. And I think they believe Jackson Dart has that.
Jordan, being that you're very familiar with Philly and you're right up the turnpike, so you're paying pretty close attention to what's going on with the Eagles. What's your reaction to Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, the dynamic of the offense. You hear things. People hear things around with what's going on with relationships and things like that. What is your view on what's going on with the Eagles right now?
Yeah, it's interesting that, we look at it like they're 4-0 and they're complaining about what's going on there. It's like something's got to be wrong. And we said this a couple of years ago, and something was wrong 2 years ago, right? At the end of the year, when we watched them, like, something's just not right here. And I think you get that feeling a little bit there. And the fact that they have a meeting and then it comes out right after, like, they can just keep that to themselves, right? Like, why is it coming out? Like, who's telling everybody? And it just seems like something is not completely right there at the moment. But at the same time, they're the defending Super Bowl champs. Their standards are super high, and their expectation isn't, oh, you know what? We'll just win games. It's not, we're going to win the Super Bowl. So, yeah, they could be 4-1 and be disappointed. And from a distance, you're like, huh, the Giants wish they were in that position. But it does strike me as a little bit awkward that when you're undefeated, you have guys chirping. And like, winning usually is the ultimate deodorant. That's what people in the league always say to you. And the fact that it wasn't is kind of a little head-scratching. You're like, wait, is there something deeper here, perhaps, that's going on that makes it not good enough that they were 4-0 at the time, right? And A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith are unhappy with what's going on. So, I don't know. It's definitely something that you should keep an eye on long-term, at least from a outside perspective.
Yeah, and when you're looking at where the Eagles are in the hierarchy of the NFC East, they're the top dog. There's no doubt about that. But you wonder how 100%. They are viewed, right, in Giants world, in Cowboys world, in Commanders world, because they're waiting for the king to lose his crown, and they want to be the ones to knock it off. So when you're looking at what the Giants are trying to do, and we were just talking earlier, Jordan, like the Giants offensively, you knew they probably didn't have a lot. Then they lose Malik Neighbors. That's a really big blow. And then you think about the defense, how it was supposed to be something they could hang their hat on. Is there anything that has given them any kind of indication that they're going to win more games than they did last year? Because right now on paper, I don't know that that's possible.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like the only thing that gives you hope if you're the Giants is that Jackson Dart's the guy.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
agreed.
That's it. Like that's kind of what they got going on here. Like, okay, the defense, they could be good, they could play a good game here or there, but it's all about, okay, if we don't have a quarterback, we don't have a chance, because they're not really good around them. Like, if I look at the offense, I'd say the Eagles are better than them at all 11 positions right now. I would give them Malik Neighbors over A.J. Brown, the Giants before he got injured, but now he's injured.
Yeah.
I mean, Eagles are better than them at every single starting position. Like, that's where the Giants are as a franchise.
It's crazy.
They're a long way from being good. So it's like, all right, at least we have a quarterback, maybe, kind of, sort of. Like, that's what they have to hang their hat on.
Wait, before I jump in, how much does it irritate them that Daniel Jones has turned into Daniel Jones out there in Indianapolis? Is that like insult to injury?
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
right?
This is like the Saquon
and
thing.
Saquon, right?
Yeah. Like how in the world how is Joe Shane how do you keep your GM after two of these incredible moves and these guys turned out to be like whatever? It's funny.
When you're a dysfunctional organization,
yeah, there you go.
The Eagles are viewed as the crown, like the gold standard at this time, and it's like Howie Roseman is like a god, right? Like, Howie can't do any wrong. Like that's the way it's viewed, and then they have like, well, we do. They're the opposite. It's like, well, whatever we do, we know is going to be.
It's going to be. It's going to be a mess.
Daniel Jones is in the MVP conversation.
Unbelievable.
After Saquon Barkley was in the MVP conversation after leaving. After Xavier McKinney made an All-Pro team after leaving. Like, yeah, it's been a rough go for the Giants. And I watched the Saquon documentary yesterday, or on Monday actually, and it's not going to help the perception that this organization is not being run well. I mean, Saquon's complaints were very much. The way they handle his qualms the whole time is the way they handled the negotiations.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jordan, do you see a competitive game tomorrow night? How do you see it?
The Eagles off a loss, I think, should run for 200 plus yards.
Yeah, I love it. I love 100 yards.
I have a hard time seeing, unless the Eagles, their problems are deeper than what we even know. They should be able. The Giants aren't even a good run defense. Like, that's their weak point.
Good point.
And Saquon's coming off 6 carries. I mean, they don't give him 25 carries that's on them.
Well, that's what they do.
That's malpractice.
They gave AJ all the targets because he was mad. Now Saquon wants more
Right,
carries.
you
They'll
gotta
make
make
sure
him
he
happy.
gets the. I got to make him happy. Jordan, good stuff, man.
Good
Appreciate
stuff,
you
Jordan.
jumping on.
Good to talk to you.
John, you know life is good when you can basically sacrifice a game and be like, you know what, we just have to make these guys happy.
That's right.
Like, that's basically what I viewed last week as from the outside perspective for the Eagles. We have to make these guys happy. They're that important. That if we have to sacrifice a game in the process, so be it. And really, in a big picture, does it really matter?
Nope. No, it does not, my friend.
All right, dude. Good to talk to you.
You got it. You guys have a great show. Great hearing from everybody.
Yeah, good
to talk to you.
Yeah, Jordan was
He's here.
he in between.
He left it during the Chip Kelly nonsense.
He
left before it got really dark.
He was writing for one of the Jersey papers, and then he was contributing for a while here, and then that's where he got the job up in the ESPN. Now he's a big star.
No, big time.
Now he's on Sports Center. Him and Tim McManus.
Oh, good old Tim.
Those guys. All right, coming up. Phillies the rest of the way. If you've been trying to get in, I know we've been very busy with stuff. 610-632-0975. Can this team and how can this team steal Game 3 on the road? Huh? Can you save the season? Realistically. All right, we're going to do this. Realistically, what can we expect from Aaron Nola? What would you sign up for from Aaron Nola? That's coming up next. 610-632-0975. Middays with Marks.
John Kincade.
And it almost felt criminal that you give Saquon Barkley one carry in the second half. Like, that seems ridiculous. But then when I take a step back, and this is not me sticking up for Sirianni or Patullo, both of them need to be better. The rushing attack's not working. Nope. So it's like, okay, you could keep giving them the ball and keep giving them the ball, but when you're getting tackled for 1 and 2 yard gains, or sometimes tackled for loss, what do you want them to do? I think the main issue with this team, it's not Patullo, it's not Sirianni, it's not even Jalen, in my opinion. I think it's the offensive line. We talk about a lot that the Eagles are so good because they build along the trenches. And when you got dominated yesterday, go back and watch the game. They got dominated on both sides of the line of scrimmage. That's why you lost the football game.
There were a lot of penalties in that game. They're just not playing clean football. They're getting away from the details. That was a big buzzword that you heard in the locker room yesterday. We got to get back to the details. We got away from the details. And for a team that prioritizes that, they've sort of lost their way a little bit. And I would also say this. They're not playing complimentary football. And to expect a defense that I thought and I think has been playing lights out throughout the season under some pretty challenging circumstances, to expect them to go out there and hold a team to 3 points for the entirety of the game when they played 74 snaps is unrealistic, and it's unfair to that group. I think that they played some pretty stout defense, but eventually that proverbial dam will break, and the offense was unable to hold up their end, and that's why they lost that game.
I've defended Bryce Harper a lot. I've defended Kyle Schwarber a lot.
But that's fair.
But
that's fair.
Yeah, but saying that they have been, great postseason performers, right? These guys, look at their numbers. Their OPS is some of the highest we've ever seen, and they're the best in franchise history and all that. But when you go back now and look at the last 10 games, right, in the postseason, the Phillies are 2-8 since Game 2 of the NLCS in 2023. 2-8, and they're 1-4 at home. Like, I love to talk about the postseason success of Harper and Schwarber, and I love to talk about Citizens Bank Park. Oh, man, what a tough place to play. Not the case, really, right now. 1-4 at home since Game 2 of the NLCS, and Schwarber and Harper, I mean, they got to carry this team, and I know it's not all on them. I understand baseball. There's 9 guys in the lineup. It also revolves around the starting pitching and the bullpen and all that. But these are
us on Instagram. 97.5 The Fanatic, my personal Instagram, which is now flooded with videos from Middays with Marks. John, Jon, Marks, Marks Media. I have to spell both my first and my last names because someone could go John.
Right.
I'm Jonathan, so it's Jon. They could go Marx instead of Marks.
Right. It's important.
So I have to spell it out. Jon, Marks Media. John Marks Media. Now, Amy's not hard. What's do you have an Instagram handle that you use?
Amy Fiddle, NBCS.
Oh.
NBCSP, NBCS. I don't know. I'm obviously locked in. Amy Fiddle something or other. Hold on. What is it? But yeah, my name, I spell my name out because it's just hard for people to understand.
If you Google Amy Fidul Instagram,
don't
I'm
Google
sure
it. It's NBCS. Don't Google.
Don't Google.
Terrible. I don't know what you're going to find. Amy Fidul NBCS is my Instagram.
And Ray Dunn is a whole
NBC
other story
Sports.
with his DUNNE.
Yes, that's true.
975.
That's true.
Like that. Yep, there you go.
Unless you're trying, yeah.
Ray Dunn 975. What do you put on Instagram? What do you got out there? I see you have a viral video that you had from last week that was doing killer numbers.
Oh, yeah, the World Series one. Your video this morning did great numbers again. You and Brandon Dutz are making magic with this content.
I don't know what happened. We've gotten to some sweet spot with the Phillies algorithm.
Good stuff.
And because the content's all right, but it's crazy. So anyway, follow us on social medias. Also, so because we're a new show, we do have a podcast page. It's finally up and it's running. You can go to the app, 97.5 The Fanatic app, or 97.5thefanatic.com, or wherever you find your podcasts, right?
Yes. Love it.
Walgreens, Rite Aid, wherever
you're shopping around. Target.
Wherever you find your podcast, and just search Midday with the Marks, and you can listen to the show. It's broken down hour by hour. So you can listen, you can pick and pop what you want to listen to. You can do it on your ride home once you get to whatever. So just make sure you do all and only 5-star reviews are allowed. That's my personal, Ray, that's my personal.
Those are the only kinds that people would give, so it doesn't really matter.
Don't leave bad reviews. That's not nice. Not nice.
Please don't. I read all of them. I take them to heart.
See, I don't. Maybe I should.
No.
I don't know if we have any reviews, but
I don't know.
Because this is literally a brand new podcast.
No, we definitely don't have any reviews yet. But I will say I will read it all.
Okay. All right. So if you owned a business, would you look at Yelp reviews?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
We almost have to if you own a business.
I feel like you want to have some kind of feedback, but I think you have to take some of them. You have to realize that you're never going to make everybody happy. But you would need to see some of it because it might be an experience like the waiter was really, and then you could at least follow up with it.
With a business like that, you have to. Like, it's important that you have.
If you're a front-facing customer service type of thing, then yeah.
Right. Like that, for me, that would be checking my mentions on Twitter, which I'm not going to do. I'm out on that.
I do. It's crazy.
I know you do because you're 25 and you wouldn't be able not to do it. People used to say to me, there's no way you don't check your mentions. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, there is. Because the last time that I remember when I stopped it, I was arguing with my driveway with some idiot. That was, and I'm not going in to see my family, and I'm going back and forth with some idiot.
Yeah, what am I doing?
What am I doing?
What am I doing?
The cameras are going off. Yeah. My kids are like, Daddy, why are you still in your car?
You don't understand.
Yeah,
you don't understand. There's someone with no name and a bunch of letters that is absolutely completely wrong, and I have to tell them.
And I'm not letting him get away.
He's not going to do it. And the odd thing is that gentleman is still out there thinking whatever it was at the same time.
Correct. All right. Aaron Nola gets to start tonight. I'm looking for realistic expectations. So let me throw this at you, Amy. Aaron Nola, would you sign up for this right now? 3 innings, 2 earned runs.
Yep. Yes.
That was
3 innings?
Quick yup.
Yep.
It keeps him in the game.
Well, I've already given you the 1 solo home run. That's happening. It's occurring. So I've already entered the game 1-0. So you tell me he only gives up 1 more run? 3 innings? Yep.
3 1/3, 3 runs.
Now you've gone a bridge too far there, John. Okay? You've gone a bridge too far there, friend.
All right, we'll stay with our original deal. Ray Dunn, 3 innings, 2 runs.
I'll still be mad. They put a starter out there that was good, that we all are accepting is going to put them behind the 8 ball.
I agree, but I would sign up for that right now because ultimately these bats have to do something in this series. You're not going to win a 2-1 game.
That's the thing. I think that's where I know we joke about we're operating with a 1-0 deficit. We cannot operate with a 0 on the scoreboard for the Phillies into the 7th inning. That is not acceptable.
And you took the words out of my mouth. This can't be 7th inning, 8th inning, you start scoring runs.
No.
It has to be early.
No, I think that's where the thing is. It's like, do you want to operate with a deficit? No, you don't. 2 runs seems like an insurmountable thing, which is a ridiculous statement given the way that this lineup has hit. And not just, that was something we talked about, right, in September. Like, oh, finally, a non-September swoon, a positive September. They actually won series in September, scored runs in September, something that they hadn't done in the previous season.
Sound like what I said all month.
And then it's like, what in the world?
Snap the fingers, and it's right back to
October happens, and it's like, just kidding. Just kidding. So that's like that to me. It's like I'm operating on the fact that if you can't scratch across more than 2 runs in Game 3 with your season on the line, then you might as well scratch around no runs.
Do they let him see the lineup the second time around? What? Like, let's.
I get, maybe it depends on how many pitches.
Hypothetically, he kind of breezes through the lineup, and he looks
like
good.
This hypothetical.
So you put him out in the 4th inning, and you see how it goes, and you have Ranger
as soon as he gets
ready
a man
to go.
on base, I'm like, okay.
Do you have to?
It's the quickest hook of all hooks.
Ray, do you have to be prepared even before he runs into trouble to get him out?
Yeah. I mean, I think you have to be prepared, especially if we're talking about getting through a second time of the order. Like, the second Ohtani steps in that on-deck circle,
you're flirting
Ranger,
with
get ready.
So you're not letting him see Ohtani
I'm
twice?
No.
Well, I mean, that's the second time through the order. That's the top of the lineup. So it's either he goes 9 batters and that's it.
If he's perfect through the first 9, does he see Ohtani?
Yeah, what it is first, maybe it depends on what he looked like against Ohtani.
If he's been solid through 3 innings and has allowed like 2 hits, got like 2 strikeouts in there, and maybe there's a run in there, there's a chance you let him go see the 4th. The idea is here, you want to get through 7 with these 2 guys.
So there's also a chance that he puts the first 2 runners on base, and now you're bringing Suarez out with runners on base, and now he's got to save the day.
I think
if he does that, me, Connor, and Andrew are chugging Coronas tonight. Like, I mean, that's where this ends up happening. We're all going to be
Who
distraught.
Are you kidding? That's still going to happen.
No.
You're still
If he puts 2 on early,
you're still going to chug the beers.
We'll sip them.
Well, that's where he goes from feeling a nice buzz to maybe doing a shot. Yeah. Like, I don't care anymore.
I'm out.
He comes in here tomorrow, and the head is pounding. And everything else.
Wouldn't it be the first one
the
that
show
show
sheet will look a lot different.
Yeah.
Like, hold on, Ray. This is the same sheet you gave me yesterday.
Wait a minute.
They lost. John, we're gonna figure it out.
Not even the right show.
All right, let's go to. But we have to step aside again. All right, coming up. So heavy phones for the rest of the show. 610-632-0975. I know I keep saying that we're going to get to some phone calls, but we'll do it next. And the text line. Ray Dunn, we've neglected the text line.
That's on me.
Heavy text coming up next. Right here, Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
One chance to continue the season. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update, and it's brought to you by Corona. Red October, baby. Join Andrew, Connor, and the Fanatic crew tonight at Kavanaugh's Rittenhouse for a huge Phillies playoff watch party. $6.50 Coronas, $30 buckets, $5 Modelo's, giveaways, Red October tees, and your shot at 2026 Phillies tickets. Details at 975thefanatic.com. Drink responsibly. You'll be watching this Game 3 of the NLDS. The Phillies down 2-0 in the series, and the Stars need to start showing.
I think those guys are trying to do a little bit too much right now, instead of just being themselves and looking for base hits, and the power will come.
We'll see if they show up tonight. They need the bats, and they also need Aaron Nola and Ranger Suarez at the top of their game. Nola gets the start. Suarez expected to pitch after him. The game starts tonight, 9:08 at Dodger Stadium, as the Phils try to keep their season going. We're one day away from Eagles-Giants matching up at the Meadowlands on Thursday Night Football. We had ESPN's Jordan on the show earlier this hour. You catch that conversation one more time on our website, 975thefanatic.com. This update's also brought to you by Macy's Backstage. Macy's Backstage is a whole department inside your Macy's store where you can find the looks, all for under $30. With new arrivals every day, you never know what you'll find. Find a location at macysbackstage.com. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for the best birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Because the guy doesn't have a feel. And then yesterday, the things with the Eagles, they try to tell you that the whole problems with Kevin Patullo and everything. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Things aren't like 2023. It doesn't matter. Everything's okay. And you even got members of the media trying to convince you this Patullo thing doesn't matter. It's not a big deal until it matters. And it does matter. And yesterday's defense, the defense lost a game yesterday for them because the offense, again, couldn't do their job.
I actually called this series to go 5 games. I still think this series goes 5 games. I just think both these teams are too talented. And I got to believe, guys, that Turner, Schwarber, Harper at some point are going to turn this thing around. You know me, I bet on players. I've played against these guys. I've watched these guys. And they're too good not to get this thing going. And that's going to be their gig tonight. You want to talk about making a statement. Have Luzardo get a clean first inning and come out and put 2-3 runs up with that top of the lineup. You know, that's something to me to get this excitement, because I'll say this, the crowd was incredible the other night. They were into it again, no different than when I was here for 6 and 7 against the Diamondbacks. And it's kind of one of those things now the players kind of have to, hold their end of the bargain out.
The offense could not do its job again in the second half. Given a big lead. The offense just doesn't understand. They have no basic understanding. And thankfully, offensive players are speaking their minds. And I'm not talking to Diana Rossini.
Right.
By sending cryptic text messages and whisper down the lane. I got to tell you, I'm disappointed in veterans that are on these teams. For different ways. For the Phillies, it's performance. For the Eagles, it's behavior. And right now, it's just it's a bad Monday morning, and there was a full moon when I pulled in the parking lot. Did you open your wallet?
No, I did not.
I tried to tell you.
I did not. I believe we have problems. Now, look, problems.
Those are a ton of problems.
Problems can be fixed.
Yeah,
right? There is such a thing as problem solving. So when I start the show with, we have problems.
Yep.
That's not me saying that the Eagles are going to finish 4-13, and I don't think the Phillies are dead. Do I like their chances? No. If you listen to the show on Friday and you followed us on social media Saturday throughout the day, I thought they needed Game 1 a lot more than the Dodgers needed Game 1, so you may now feel or know how I feel about how the series is going to play out. But problems can be fixed. But let's address the problems. The Phillies, once again, in another playoff, got tight. And I know it's just Game 1.
Tight.
But the Phillies, as you see, and we've seen before, and I know this is one of those, you can't really judge this. There's no statistic for it. Maybe there is. The clutch gene, I know there's stats out there for everything. But the Phillies are front runners, all right? When they're in the lead and things are going great, they can pile on, even though they didn't pile on. But look, they're facing a good pitcher in Shohei Ohtani. They did their job against Ohtani. But then as soon as the Dodgers come back, they got tight, which is why going back to that Mets series when they got swept and you were on vacation, Johnny, it wasn't that I thought the Mets were like now all of a sudden going to go on a roll for the World Series. Connor, if you remember, I straight up said the Phillies team, they struggle when the lights are brightest, and that was a big light series. Now they came back and swept the Mets later on, and all was beautiful. But we know this team. We saw it in 22, 23, last year, and then Saturday night. When things get tough, they get tight. And you see the lineup get too tight. You see the pitching staff get too tight. It happens over and over again with this team. That's one of the problems that I want to address.
We got even one of our own crew members. And I just got to address it because we got one of our own crew members, our man Dylan McKinnon, who's very positive.
Love Dylan.
Dylan's a great guy, and he's very, very positive. But again, even like on Saturday night, people getting on Harper and Schwarber, and you guys are just crazy because these guys are not a problem.
1 for 11.
No. These are worse. This is going to get it worse for you. Since the Phillies were up 2-0.
Ray, dun, 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 dun. Where are the guys tonight? You said you're going out to Corona?
Kavanaugh's Rittenhouse.
Oh, that's right.
Nice.
Yes. So I'll go meet them there at the wonderful 9 o'clock start time.
The rain is supposed to be already stopping now, right?
Yes.
I can't see out because we don't have windows here anymore.
There's like one window back there. It looks semi-sunny.
That's actually a big deal for me because you know me. I'll be walking. So
Yes.
we kind of need the rain to hold off
I think
here.
it's done.
Yeah, Ray, when there's media day with the
I know.
Sixers thing, he walks there.
I know.
It's so odd.
Amy saw me there.
But why can't you drive? That's what I don't understand.
Why bother?
Why does everyone else drive?
But you're working.
It's easier.
That's right. I'm
Yeah.
working. I got to work on time. I got to work before Connor, and he drove.
Okay, but you also, where does Connor live?
Same neighborhood.
Okay, did he leave at the same time? I
No.
think Connor got there after you because he left late.
No, he left
He had
it
more
probably
stuff
at
done
normal
in the
time.
morning.
I went, got a cup of coffee, enjoyed my walk, looked over the Delaware. You know, it was great.
You're an old soul. You really are.
A little bit, yeah.
I respect you for that.
Yeah, I get my 11,000 steps a day, man. Everyone else doing 10,000. I do 11,000.
We'll hit some texts coming up in a second. Let's do a phone call. Greg in Bethlehem. Greg, go ahead, man. What's going on? How are you?
Hey, guys. Good afternoon. I'm concerned with, maybe I'm the only one, concerned with Aaron Nolan's start today. I don't think his performance this year earned him a start. And I think even worse is he may realize that he didn't earn the start and overthrow, and doesn't work well for a pitcher that relies on touch. You know, an extra mile an hour, if he's juiced up, could flatten his stuff out, and it would be more of a problem.
Well, I think
So I don't like it.
Greg, I think we're going to know early what kind of Aaron Nola we're going to have, right? When you're talking about his stuff being flat, when he's off, it means he lacks command, which means he can't locate his pitches because he doesn't throw the ball. He's never been a velocity guy, but he used to get 95, 96, and he'd be fine. But now that you're throwing low 90s, it's location. It's movement, it's location. When his stuff is flat and the velocity is what it is, he gets hit. And we're going to know early what Aaron Nola we're getting. But to his point, he obviously hasn't earned a start with Ranger Suarez having the season that he had, which was fine, and Nola really, really struggling. So, in your opinion, Amy, what is the psychology behind him getting the start in Game 3?
Yeah, I mean, the psychology, I think, is one, if you're going to use him, starting is the only role that they see him in. And that's what obviously Rob Thompson says. But I think the psychology behind it is if you're going to use him, you cannot use him out of the pen. If you got these two guys that you want to use, one of them being Ranger Suarez and one of them Aaron Nola can go out of the pen. And I think it's you're basically using him as an opener. Let's be honest.
Yes.
He's an opener because we're talking about him going through a lineup, which is essentially what you kind of want an opener to do, right? You want him to get through maybe 2 innings, 3 innings. That's about it. The 3 innings would be great. 3 perfect innings would be everybody through the lineup. That's the hope. But an opener is a guy that just sets the table for a guy that's actually going to pitch the game.
So how much of this is Rob Thompson believes in him? Rob Thompson, Amy, might be putting his career on the line.
Certainly his job on the line with this guy. I think they do believe in Aaron Nola in situations like this, meaning going to a hostile environment. And let's be honest, it's not Dodger Stadium is fine. It's not the same as Citizens Bank Park. A hostile environment meaning it's an away game. It's not like pitching in Citizens Bank Park. But it is going away, and it is a high-leverage situation, and Aaron Nola has done that. So has Ranger Suarez. But Ranger Suarez has done it out of the pen. So I think if you're dealing with Nola and you want to use him at some point, you got to keep his psyche up, and this is the one way to do it.
You know what's weird about, and I agree with you. I think that Thompson is saying, no, Aaron Nola has been a big game pitcher in the past. He can pitch on the road. So you're going off his reputation, and you're hoping that the arm's fresh. He hasn't pitched a whole heck of a lot. But doesn't Ranger Suarez have the same kind of reputation, but he's pitched well this year? Right? So you're deferring to Nola. I mean, honestly, it sounds silly. You're deferring to Nola because he can't be used in any other role. You're saying, like, oh, well, we can't use him out of the pen. Like, that's crazy. So we're going to start him in the game. I don't know. If you explain it that way, it's like, what do they do?
Well, that sounds like you're taking crazy pills.
Right. Well, that's how I felt when they made
it sounds like you're taking crazy pills. Like, he can't pitch for the whole game, but he can pitch the beginning of the game?
Right, and that's why Matt Gelb sounded.
What's the reasoning behind that?
It's I think it's like, all right, if you have a guy that you need to burn for an inning or two, Ranger's not that guy.
Right.
So if Ranger comes in, he gets you through 6, who are you going to go to? You're not going to bring in Aaron Nola. You're not going to vice versa that.
You're not.
But that also goes back to something you brought up earlier, which I think was an excellent point. Way too many pitchers on this team right now.
Thank you.
Way too many.
They aren't being
that
used.
You're not using them. Why are they here?
We had this conversation leading up to the DS about how you construct this roster.
Walker Buehler.
You have 3 right-handers. All right, Buehler's been used out of the pen. Buehler, you're safe. You have Nola. You have Walker. Only one of them is necessary to be on this roster. And it goes back to that pinch-running conundrum we all got into the other night.
You ran out of humans.
If you had someone else, like, I can imagine the PR hit they would have taken if, honestly, there wouldn't have been that big of a PR hit, but the fact that Stubbs would have been on a postseason roster, there would have been a part of the fan base that just loses their mind because they hate the guy. And that's fine. But Taijuan Walker being left off for Garrett Stubbs and having Stubbs in that moment to pinch run would have been potentially season-changing. And it's crazy to say that. It's crazy to say that the DJ being there would have meant something if we made him top step Taijuan again. And no, I wasn't smart enough to start pointing that out before we got to the series. I'm not pointing out afterwards. So clearly, I didn't have it all together either. But as we're sitting here talking about this, Aaron Nola is starting a game because that's literally all he can do. Taijuan Walker's going to watch another postseason game while on the roster. Walker Buehler, we haven't even mentioned about anything he's done this postseason. All 3 of those guys were similar in their purpose, and they're going to sit there and do nothing, except now we get to start Nola because, well, we have to use him somehow because we have to use our pitchers, which is also insane.
Yeah.
Think about this.
Too many people.
This entire series has been lined up where you've had game, off day, game, off day. This is the first time you're going to play back-to-back days. The only way you play that, by the way, is if you win tonight.
Yep.
And we're talking about, oh, yeah, we're going to use this guy because it's the only way we can use him. It's insane. The way this has been managed has been insane. The way they've dealt with the pitching has been insane. And the only way I've been able to justify this Nola start to myself tonight is that they're playing some sort of 4D chess to try and get them to break up the 2 right-handers in the second and third spot in that Dodger lineup. That's all I can justify it to. That and, Nola, if you look at his numbers in postseason series, when he sees a team for the first time, he's really effective. Sure, the Aaron Nola that was good.
Yeah.
The Aaron Nola that was
That's
good.
not this year's Aaron Nola now.
Honestly, because Ranger Suarez doesn't give you a lot of, he hasn't went 6 innings in a playoff start.
And that's, I think, honestly, that had to factor in this.
I
right
agree.
now. Because you're looking at 2 basically starters that can't go to 7.
So they're scared to death in middle relief.
Mm-hmm.
And if they know Ranger, all likelihood, his last couple starts, he went 4 1/3, 4 2/3, 5 1/3, 5.
Give us 3.
3 2/3, 5. So if you're going to have to go to the pen in the 5th inning, which is it likely? Probably, right? So now what are you doing? And you're not going to use Aaron Nola. So there's a couple of different factors why it is, and you could go to Ranger in the 2nd inning if you needed to, and he could pitch 5 innings.
I think he's the ultimate kind of parachute to this start. An opener is a guy that's supposed to get you through once through the lineup. Sometimes the opener only goes 1 because he did not do so well.
Right.
You would hope that for a guy like, because I thought about going back to game 2, Taijuan Walker, 24 pitches in that first inning, and I thought, whoa, it's going to be a long one. And then he absolutely settled in and was magnificent. And then he got in a little bit of trouble because, whatever. I have no beef with him staying out there for the 7th inning. No beef with that at all. I have beef with Ranger Suarez being out there in the pen and not coming because it seems like he is that guy for you. You've deemed him that guy. So now he has to be that guy. So don't wait too long. Don't wait until there's guys at 2nd and 3rd with no out to pull Aaron Nola. As soon as there's a gentleman standing on first base and it's the 3rd inning or 4th inning, whatever inning it is.
I'd be shocked if he's pitching in the 4th inning.
I don't think that's.
I'd be shocked.
Wrap 4th inning, man.
There you go.
Get excited.
All right, we finished with texts and your phone calls at 610-632-0975. Official predictions. And how are you passing the time until 9 o'clock tonight? What are you going to be doing? What's Ray going to be doing? That's coming up next. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Start your morning.
Well, the Philadelphia Phillies season is pretty much over. They're basically dead. They're not going to win 3 straight games in this series. And I said after game 1, the reason they lost game 1 was the manager's fault. And you know what? You could probably blame him for game 2 as well. But the reason they're going to lose this series is because the top 3 guys in the lineup, Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, have gone a combined 2 for 21. That's unacceptable. That's not going to get the job done. It's on them as much as anybody else why the Phillies are going to get knocked out.
The fans last night were incredibly supportive.
Yep.
Yes, they booed the lousy at-bats by Trey Turner when he had them. The lousy at-bats. Even Kyle Schwarber took a little heat last night. You took heat on one of your at-bats where you were flailing at it like you couldn't swing a boat paddle. But they were supportive. They were loud. They were backing you when you were down 4-1. They were standing. They were making noise. So that is totally garbage to start pointing fingers at the fans and making it as if the fans are causing part of the problem here. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, because Donnie, the trend continues, right? You lose the World Series, you lose the NLCS, you lose the Division Series. So some might think, well, they just won't make the playoffs. They made the playoffs.
No, they want to take a step back.
But instead of losing in 4, they might lose in 3, Johnny.
Good morning to you, too.
Oh, no, it's not a good morning.
No, it is.
Morning.
It is. I don't do the after. I can't do the walk around and mope and growl at people and stuff like that.
Well, I'm not growling at anybody, but it's not a good morning.
You don't. You don't do that. But a lot of people do.
Sure.
Some of them work in this building. I just look at it as they are who we thought they were, and I'm ashamed that I drank some of the Kool-Aid on some of the stuff, but the manager is just my prevailing thought this morning, is that Rob Thompson is exactly who I've always thought he was.
It's not just Rob Thompson.
Well, I understand, but he is an excellent leader of men as far as just to create an atmosphere where people like coming to work. But he is also a horrible strategist, and I've said it from the time he was hired. He's a horrible strategist. He's cost them numerous times in his managerial career. And last night is the absolute exclamation.
All right. Coming up next, Ricky Bo, Bill Colarulo, Unfiltered. And it's great because Ricky Bo, it's not an early game, so he doesn't get lifted early for TV. You TV people.
That's right. We steal people.
Always.
Sorry. Always. Look at us.
You know what's annoying with you guys on TV?
Oh, tell me.
I never get to talk long enough.
That's true. Those commercial breaks, they take themselves. It's not like you lead to them and then they take them. No.
It's an art. You have to be able to say what you want to say.
In a very concise.
You do.
And they tell you 10 seconds. You better get everything you need to know in that 10 seconds.
I'm so used to just being like, blah, blah, blah,
yeah, because your break times are very fluid here. There's no break times. Are your off time is 27:50.
Yep.
10:27:50.
Right.
That break is taking you whether you take it or not.
And you're the point guard, so you're making sure.
Yeah, you're just trying to making sure everybody's trying to get their time in, say their piece, but also if you could just wrap it up in the next 45 seconds, that'd be really great.
Right.
I'm gonna toss it. I'm gonna interrupt you.
Who's the biggest? Who is the biggest violator of
the time
of wrapping it up when they should be wrapping it up?
I know the guys are actually pretty good. But yeah, like Ricky, those guys they know. Well, they've been doing it a long time. Ricky has been, but a lot of times the producer then will get in their ear and be like, "Just so you know, you need to be quick." But there are guys that have been over the. Seth Joyner was a guy that would sometimes just chit chat a little much, but he's Seth. You let him go.
We want to hear
Seth.
it. Yeah, I don't care about some damn commercial break.
All right, we'll get to the commercials in a minute. Seth, go on.
Right. Yeah. Well, Ray, listen. She just said that our breaks are fluid. They're not supposed to be.
They're a little bit more fluid.
Yes, it's different than TV.
Yeah.
Yes. Amy learned one of her first days here that, like, when it says break time, we're not actually just going to fire a commercial.
Literally, I think I just stopped talking. I looked at the time and I was like, because it said, we have these computers in front of it, like break it, whatever. And I was just like, yeah, okay. And Ray was like still talking. I was like,
like
keep
Ray,
going.
Ray should know
Got it.
better. You're actually doing what you should do, which is
I was like,
if you're not leading the show, at that point you should. Like, you don't want to make another point because that could be another 90
I still kind
seconds.
of, sometimes I miss it though. And I'm just like still talking. And Ray's like, okay, now you can shut up, lady.
Listen,
I've never said now you can shut up, lady.
And sometimes you see
You
the
think
third base coach putting on the stop sign and you don't
And I just
care
got,
and
like,
you're going
I've got
anyway.
this point.
Yeah, what does it matter? Who the
I'd
hell
be a
is that?
terrible third base coach. Horrible
Everybody's
third base
going,
coach.
right?
Yeah. Just be like, come on.
Yeah, you're good, everybody.
Actually,
Let's go.
Castellanos, you hold. But everyone else, you good. You
Everybody
good. You keep
else,
on.
yes. All right, well, let's see what's going on the text line there. Ray Diggity.
All right, let's go to Colby in Central PA. Nola, Phillies win. I would sign for Nola 4+ innings, 4 strikeouts. You go Ranger until you get to Duran, if possible, in the 9th. That's the way you could win.
All right, so let's play it out. Nola goes 3. Ranger goes 3. That gets you to the 7th. And, I mean, everybody in the bullpen should be fresh. No reason for anything else. Tanner Banks hasn't been used. I feel, I don't want to jinx it, but I feel like the Tanner Banks, you could use him in a little bit of a higher leverage situation.
All right, 7th inning.
So maybe Banks. Kirkering, if you're behind in the game's fine. I mean, is he your
David
7th
Robertson?
inning guy? Robert? Oh, God. I went into this playoff saying they're a middle reliever short. They're a 7th or 8th inning guy short. I need one more guy. They did their best. Robertson didn't cost players. He costed money. And
Right.
the money that Middleton paid for a couple months of Robertson was unbelievable. But I don't know. See, that's where you run into trouble is you're trying to piece.
And that's the thing. Your hope is that those guys go longer. So those inning scenarios, you're hoping you extend them by at least one. Whether it's Nola or probably Ranger, extend them by 1. Then you're only dealing with the 8th inning. And then hopefully you can get to Duran.
Or are you just going 7 between those two? And guess what, Duran? You've mentioned you want to pitch multiple innings. Give us 6 outs to save the season, baby.
Do not like.
Yeah, I don't.
Do not like.
All right. Then name the pitcher that you're doing an alternative.
No, we were just trying to.
We're grasping at straws.
I think there's a chance you try and cover 9 innings with these 3 guys tonight. I mean, they have to pitch well.
I would say it's extremely unlikely that they use 3 pitchers tonight. In a playoff game?
Well, yeah.
I think there's a better chance they use 7 than they use 3.
Yeah. You come on through.
But if they're able to get through 7,
yeah, if you're able to
I
get
could
through
see
7,
I could see the world where they say, you know what, Duran, here's 6 outs, go do it.
How many times has he went multiple innings?
He's done it before.
He's done it before. It's not a lot. He's done it with the Twins. He did it a couple times.
Yeah.
But it's not like common. I would be more comfortable like a 4-out save.
Yes. He comes in, he gets
You know what I mean?
gets the
That's
strikeout.
maybe where I'm at with him.
5 pitches. Well, that's the one thing you don't want to do. And Thompson would be criticized for this because he got it from Robertson, who hadn't done an up down. So it's like, why are you putting him in the situation, even though it was 5 or 6 pitches, to come back out the other inning? If you're putting Duran in a situation where he hasn't went multiple innings this year, you want to do that in a deciding game in the playoffs?
He can come out, and if it's 2 outs in the 8th, then I can bring him in.
He went 2 innings in July. So he would have been was he with the Philly? Yeah, I guess he would have been.
No,
Depends
it
on
was before
it was before.
Minnesota.
It would have been right before.
It was right before. July 22nd, he went 2 innings. And then he went, so he did.
Because his very first outing here, we all remember it.
He was bragging about it earlier this week that he trains for that type of stuff.
He went twice. So twice in July, he went 2 innings.
Okay.
All right.
It's an idea. It's something that they might throw out there.
I don't hate it.
All right, let's get to the texters here. Sean in Newtown, I'd sign up for 5 1/3 and 3 runs or less from Nola tonight, hoping for better, but here we are.
I bet you would sign up for that.
Yeah.
I would sign up for that.
Yeah, 5 1/3. And then Ranger comes in just if you don't even need Duran. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, just let him finish. Or let him go to the 9th and
Yeah,
then you can bring
exactly.
Duran in.
Goes into the 9th. Duran comes in for the last out.
I'm surprisingly, and the more I talk about it, the less confidence I have, but I feel like Nola is actually going to give you
4.
Realistically what you need tonight, which is when he leaves the game, you can't be losing.
And the bottom line is, honestly, all the talk about pitching, and it's going to be because of the way that this is structured, because we're talking about Aaron Nola and Ranger Suarez, that's all well and good. As long as whomever is leaving the game wearing Phillies gray, his team, his buddies, his guys, the guys holding the bats have done literally anything before they leave. That's all I care about. So if Aaron Nola leaves in the 4th inning and he's done an okay job, whatever it's needed, the need is based on what the bats do, right? So if he leaves and it's 1-0, then he's done his job. The bats have to do something.
And if it's 5-3, we'll feel okay about it because he was able to get through the innings.
They put up 5 runs, and he did enough.
Jack and Plymouth meeting here. Oh, go ahead.
Real quick, most likely, which star players most likely to break through tonight between the 3?
Schwarber.
Turner actually gave you signs of life. So, Turner, I don't think he's hitting a home run, but I can see a multi-hit night.
None of us are going Harper, which is really, really interesting.
Actually, Harper, full night's sleep without the baby. Dad strength Bryce.
Homemade Gatorade. Put it on TikTok.
Yeah.
All right.
Little protein shake.
Never Bryce got so busy.
Maybe it's because I expect Bryce. Like, I expect it.
Do you?
I do. I am always expecting it. It doesn't mean I'm always, it always happens.
Well, I mean.
But I expect it. So when he hits a home run, I'm like, yes, thank you.
Okay. Well,
maybe that's why.
Let's expect it tonight.
I expect it.
All right, what you got?
All right, Jack and Plymouth meeting. This team is going to L.A. with something to prove. They win tonight, they win tomorrow, and we'll see how everything lies come Saturday.
Just got to get the win tonight. I'll worry about tomorrow. Just got to get the win tonight.
That's a tomorrow's problem.
Yep.
Steve in Tampa. Nola equals no L.A. And as for how I'm getting to 9 o'clock, I plan on getting blacked out on Surfsides.
Oh, he's not getting to 9 o'clock.
So,
He's blacked out.
You might want to drink responsibly.
Amy, I wish I had the question of how I'm getting the 9 o'clock tonight. Because here's how I'm getting the 9 o'clock tonight. I'm going to be feeding the children. I'm going to be taking my daughter to cheerleading practice. I'm going to be coming home and getting them ready for bed.
And you're going to look and be like, oh my gosh, it's almost 9 o'clock because you've been running.
It's actually perfect because I know that I'll be able to say goodnight by 9 o'clock. That's 8:30 some nights. Other nights, it takes a little bit more time. You know how it is. But like by 9 o'clock, I'll officially be able to.
You're locked in. That's it. All done, everyone.
All done. Go to bed. Don't bother me. I'm out.
No more talking.
Yep.
No talkies.
Anything else there, Ray?
Do they not stay up and watch with you?
Not at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, no.
So I DVR them.
That's good.
And then
I'm a bad parent. My child will actually be watching.
Well, but your son's older. My daughter's almost 10. And if I allowed them to. But
that's a little late.
What we want to do, the first thing they'll ask tomorrow morning is they'll want to go on Instagram and see home
exactly.
runs.
Yeah, see what happened.
They want to see the home runs.
Yeah,
if they lose 3-2, we're not going over the highlights.
There'll be nothing to look at. Do not look at this. Look away, kids.
One more here for you. I expect 3 innings of shutout ball and then high anxiety until he blows up in the 4th or the 5th.
So, Amy, I don't know if you know this. I have a designated puke bucket at home that I carry around with the Phillies when they're in the playoffs because I legitimately throw up during Phillies games. I haven't this year because there's been no anxiety because
right.
Like
they haven't.
I have no reason to believe. No.
Yeah,
you have to the team has to put yourself in position to where you're like, oh my God, they can't blow this lead. It's the 8th inning. I haven't been there. Tonight, I feel like I'm going to need the puke bucket.
I'm with you.
Tonight.
So much is riding on this game too.
Well, I also think they're going to have a lead, and we're going to be in the 8th inning with runners on base.
Yeah, I'm going to need a Corona bucket tonight.
Yep. Yeah, you're going to be puking for different reasons.
No, not me, please. Come on.
No?
What do I look like, an amateur?
I don't know. What about if you drink liquor?
I'm fine. Though if they start
you hear that? I'm fine.
If they start going tequila, I'm in trouble. That's the one where I'd be worried. But I'm not going liquor. It's a work night, man. What are you talking about?
The way that tailed off is everything we needed to know about that situation.
We need that because I heard the same
I'm
wavering
fine.
in your. I'm fine.
John and I both looked at each other like, "Yep,
I'm fine.
I'm fine." Yeah,
I'm
totally.
good.
You had a Peter Brady crack in your voice there.
I'm good.
Did you watch the Brady Bunch since you were a Seinfeld fan?
I've watched some. I haven't watched it all the way through. Okay. Like, you don't need to. This is a show you should watch.
No.
Yeah, sure.
You sounded like Peter Brady there when his voice changed.
Yeah, I'm fine.
There you go. All right, final predictions. What do you got?
Phil's win. Give me 5-4.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be an excruciating.
We're going
win.
right to the end. Right to the end.
Excruciating, and then
5-4.
And then tomorrow will be tomorrow. I'm curious to see if the Phillies do win, what they do with Ohtani. Ray Dunn, What do you think?
I just can't imagine them getting swept. I know that was my take going into game 2, and I ended up being just wrong about that. But I just can't imagine them getting swept.
7-6, the Phillies win the game.
One-run games.
Yes, a lot of run.
We're really setting ourselves up.
The guys are coming up next.